as I begin recording. So, last session, you, after successfully dispatching the last of House Morthax's spies from the Ironsgate Wall, you met with a Banzalan witch doctor in order to grant yourselves communion with the Tansian god of death, trickery, and the afterlife, Banzala, the ferryman. You asked him 3 questions. If Banzala was willing to make a deal for the crystal tablet, if you might visit his temple to discuss terms, and if I get Sirenscape up, there we go. And if Banzala stood against the entity known as Voldis. All 3 questions, the last one particularly, angrily responded with a yes. Afterwards, it was decided that you would head back to Doonhollow for a brief bout of respite and resupplying. Dejar requested a set of gatekeeper scouts uniforms as a disguise to keep her hidden. The next day, you set off with on your journey to Doonhollow, travelling through the Waystone from the Wall to the capital city of the Silver Kingdom. You arrived through the Nexus Point at the August Tower, catching Reinhold Hammerstone, not Dane as I mistakenly said last session, in the centre of the antechamber, sort of midway through lecturing a number of prospective young wizards and mage apprentices. Dejar spoke with Hammerstone, and the discussion drifted towards the topic of a certain great beast that had been ravaging the northern coastlines of the Carthan Commonwealth. It's this malformed entity once known as Crothis, scion of the Frozen Ruin. So, with the Hunter's Keep too buried in paperwork and investigations by the Crown, and red tape to carry out their duties to slay this beast, Reinhold approached Dejar as a representative to the Ebony Enclave, a mysterious group of which Dejar is a part. Dejar was given the task of slaying this beast, lest it continue abducting innocents and ravaging villages and potentially causing a political fallout between Mayland and the Commonwealth. You discussed with him the cleansing of the Ashbite Signet Ring, and he stowed away that fleshy chunk you recovered from the death slard that Angus had banished soon after. As Dejar finished up with Reinhold, you all went about your business, attending to shopping and resupplying, noticing a distinct lack of dwarfen iron guard throughout the city. In their places were Black Hand mercenary guardsmen. Liska went to check up on her adamantine armour that was being made by Bravik Cinderbraid, and presented him with the last broken adamantine, the large broken adamantine keystone gathered from Morthax's failed ritual, certainly enough to complete Liska's fancy armour. Angus decided to visit an old friend, Captain of the City Guard Thurdrim Brasheim. Unfortunately, it was discovered that, by order of the High King, he had been forced to step down as captain, accused of dereliction of duty. This is probably why there's a lack of Iron Guard in the city, replaced by Black Hand guardsmen. The king, apparently having received an anonymous letter telling him of a handyman activity in the Underhollows that hadn't been taken care of. So, with the mention of Mortholm by Angus being liberated by from the influence of Morthax, little could be done, as it's no longer Thurdrim's jurisdiction to sanction the expansion of the kingdom to new holds. Now that duty falls to the Crown itself. So, Angus is going to see the nearest royalty he knows, which is either Princess Tora Yornmai or King Brator Yornmai himself. Liska made her way to the keep, the hunters keep and sold a number of mortifex bits, black dragon bits for quite a bit of pocket change. A discussion was had that indeed the keep is having some not the greatest time with sending out hunters to actually do their job. Nisko kind of reconvened with many of the hunters there. Dejar decided to get a down payment for a medical tattoo, and Angus decided to get his mustache tidied and styled to the nines, braiding his prayer beads into his facial hair, all to present a well-groomed exterior to royalty. Possibly present word of his newly recaptured dwarfhold. So, we now rejoin Angus as he's making his way through the city. Dunhollow map, there it is. Ooh. Where's the party? Everything is dark.
We're all here. Yeah, everything got in the dark mode for some reason.
Huh. That's
interesting.
Oh wait, no, it was just loading. It was just having a little trouble.
It's still dark for me. I don't see a party icon.
Yeah.
So is it perhaps dark because we don't have a visible party icon?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Using fog memory.
Yeah, everything's like grayed out.
Oh, hang on. It's because configure ownership. We need to configure ownership of the party icon. There you go.
Oh god, my eyes. I've been flashbanged by Dunhollow. I frag out. It's just somebody's cigar that fell into their booze.
Yeah. Not again!
No, I told you, not in the bar.
One flash takes a whole new meaning.
Just glad it was the light stuff. We could level a building with the hard stuff. Little Welsh there. Oh well.
That's where the phone comes in.
Alright. Hang on. One second. It's been 2 weeks. I need to get my bearings.
I'm pretty sure we're all in the same state.
Just strolling along.
Yeah.
So,
you're making your way through to the King's Promenade district. The enormous, and you can see the enormous courtyard surrounding the massive emerald double doors to the palace's towering frontmost edifice. You can see a number of figures, 20 mountain guard, but also a small number of Black Hand guardsmen. You kind of
He just sort of looks at that a little bit disgruntled, but tries to collect himself.
You see, you kind of signal the two mountain guards guarding the front wrought iron gate that kind of blocks off the courtyard here in front of the two enormous emerald doors. They see your armor. They know who you are by now and your status. And they part the gates into the courtyard for you.
Hello, lads. Just popping in for a wee bit of business.
Right, okay. And they show you in. And as you make your way up to towards the Emerald Gate, a pair of mountain guard and also Black Hand guards seem to intercept you there. One of the mountain guards says, "High King's decreed no visitors at this time, not even mountain guard. Doesn't want any disturbances."
Hey, that's a wee bit difficult because you see the High King has given me a quest to go on about the raiment, you see. And I have an update for him.
I'm sorry, lad. King's orders. Doesn't want any disturbances. That's all we know. So sadly, no details given.
Right. King's orders is king's orders.
And a black-hand guard kind of steps forward. A tall, human man, thin, kind of pale of face. Perhaps if you come back at a later time, you can... And then he's immediately cut off as the emerald door shifts and kind of grinds open a crack, shedding the orange light of the lava cavern beyond. And a figure just storms out of the door, dressed in plate mail and wielding a large hammer. And the black hand
kind of tiptoes to the left side, leaning, trying to peek through the little crack before it opens.
The black hand guard kind of places a hand on the figure's shoulder. Princess, your father has decreed you remain in the palace for your own safety. And you now see is Tora. Shrugs his hand away and jabs a finger up towards him. My father's decrees can kiss my arse. You'd best not touch me again, else I'll ram this hammer so far up your arse, its head'll break your teeth. You and your like have no business taking the place of the Iron Guard. I'm going training. I'd like to see you try and stop me.
He's going to turn to the dwarf right beside him that originally spoke, and then kind of as he's talking, look up, you know, because he has to crane quite high up because he's a short little guy. Look up while, you know, talking and facing, but his eyes are looking at the black guard. Well, if the king's taken no visitors, talk to the princess instead. And his eyes shift back to the mountain guard, and he cracks a little bit of a smirk.
It's at that point, Tora notices you behind her, and as she's kind of holding the hammerhead right up to the black hand guard's face, she gives you a smirk, then turns back towards the black hand guard, and then to the other mountain guard. That's what I bloody well thought. As they all kind of look at each other with trepidation and silence. She nods to you, she nods to you to follow her as she storms off.
And away I do.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, I understand. Well, I don't fully understand, but I understand enough.
You know, it's been a while since I've seen you.
Aye, it's been 9 months.
Nearly 9 months,
Keep a
eh?
record of this.
Have you done something with your kind of gestures towards where a mustache would be on her face?
Oh yeah, well I've let you see it. I can't remember where, but I got this wonderful golden dust, and you know I've been using it and creaming and growing it. I thought I'd make, you know, room for decorations.
It's good to see.
Here and there.
It's good to see that's coming to use. And that gives you a slap in the shoulder.
Thank you kindly.
I'm going to Fort Hammerhurst courtyard to train. Do you want to come with?
You know, I was just about to ask if I could accompany you. I've got some good news.
Oh, eh?
Hey? Yeah, I'll wait till we get there, so that way we're nice and settled. Maybe it's a little bit quieter.
She goes and signals a cart, pays the silver for the travel. She what's your passive insight actually?
Let us see. My passive insight is gonna go ahead and be 18.
18. She looks a little bit almost like flustered and frustrated. Like she's just had a bad argument. someone dear to her.
Now, as I imagine they're on the cart traveling. Now, I don't mean to pry, it's not all my business, you know, but I kinda can't help but notice you seem a little more disgruntled than before. And that was when you got out of a prison cell. Can't imagine what would be worse than that. He's just gonna kind of peer over his shoulders, very obviously a little bit, looking at the fading.
I don't think Angus was there for that.
No, but when she returned,
oh right.
He was there for that.
My old dad and I, we're going through a bit of a rough spot right now.
See, is there anything you want to talk about with that? If you don't mind, you know, it's not my business, but you know, wouldn't be right just to watch her grumble and not mention anything.
You've got a fair rapport with Tora at this point. I'll say just make a persuasion check with advantage.
Alright, the roll is auto-calculated with a little guidance, but we can tick that off because he's not counting it. So there's the first, I forgot to hold the button.
23. There you go.
Yep, so in that case, 20 even.
20. Kind of sighs, kind of sinks into herself a bit. I thought replacing the cultural touchstone of the Dune Hollow Iron Guard with a mercenary group was a good idea, and I didn't. It's the latest in a long series of baffling decrees and edicts from him.
Sort of takes a deep breath, just... I can't say it sits quite right. It's a little odd to be outsourcing country pride.
I know,
What?
that's exactly what I told him, but he's a stubborn old bastard, he is.
I was there with the meeting before, and there is that ear tall fella, one with the face, the white face, all masked up with the robes.
Oh. You've been away for a wee bit, so let me fill you in. Let me fill you in on a few things. The High Priestess passed away in her sleep some months ago. It's affected us all. Lara, she was like a mother to me. It affected Dad. The High King. The High King, most of all, I think. Then there was news of an attempted coup in Cliffspire by the Handymen. Always, he's been right obsessed with stamping them out. Says he thinks they'd something to do with Ilara's death.
That's possible. I don't know a whole lot about him, to be honest, and that ordeal. But that seems a little overt for underground criminals.
Aye, it does. I don't know, that coup attempt, from what I've been hearing, it's put down by the Black Hand themselves. My dad, the High King, sent some anonymous letter claiming there was handyman operations deep in the Underhollows. I don't know how true that is, but oh, you should have seen him. That sent him apoplectic. And now he's Now he's saying all of the Iron Guards failed their duties, seeking to replace them all with Black Hand mercenaries. And what's more, he's declared a strict evening curfew for everyone in the city.
Curfew?
Aye.
In Dunes Hollow.
In Down Hollow.
The safest city in Mainland. Well, minus that invasion, but you know, it's war.
I don't get it. The fact that Captain Brasshound's been asked to step down. He's been asked to clear out his station today.
I saw him earlier today, and well, I learned there a little bit what's happened. I hope I didn't overstep my bounds, but I might have given him alternative employment options.
Why?
You know, building the temple just a wee bit south over there in that hole. I said, shucks, come on over there and train up some of the lads, you know. But hope that's not overstepping the bounds. But you know, if it's not in the king's official city, it's not technically violating his order there, you know. I feel a little bad for the lad because I don't think he deserved that. I don't want to question the king's orders, but at the same time, it feels wrong to say it, but it's really hard to believe that he derelicted any duty at all. Not to judge or question the king's judgment, it's just... And he looks down and sighs defeated. I've been keeping contact with him the whole time, and it's just hard to believe.
He's been... My dad, the High King, has been acting so strange as of recent. I mean, just recently he's tried locking me in the way in the palace. He says it's for my own safety, quote unquote.
But didn't you fight in the throne room?
DM here, I can't remember if she did or not.
I think she did.
I think she
did.
partook in some regard.
Not like full combat, but she was there.
Yeah, she was there, and she also fought generally in the city and other stuff. I remember her being there at least.
Yep.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's been like about half of a year in game.
Yeah.
That's why it's a question. Wait, didn't you do that? Weren't you there?
Look, I survived an attack on the city. I think I can take care of myself. See, if I trade in my freedom for safety, I might as well live in the hole for the rest of my life. And that ain't a life worth living.
Exactly. Are you supposed to go out and be someone that gets written about if all you do is stay in a hole baking bread or excuse me, signing papers?
Aye. I've talked to them. He's stubborn bastard set in his ways. Once his mind is set, there's little to dissuade him.
Well, maybe I can give some reassurance. You remember what war for when we were here before, and I asked to hold on to the signet, see if I can find a way to remove the curse.
Why?
Well, I have.
She kind of pauses for a moment and stares at you with a cocked eyebrow. Come again?
But behold, as he's gonna reach out for the little foot chain, and he's gonna pull out, you know, a little chain from around his neck, and the little ring sliding on it. Look at this.
That's...
This was the ring.
Are you sure? I don't remember seeing it like that before.
It wasn't. I asked for Selma to write something up. Did she ever write anything up?
Sorry?
I asked Selma back at the southern wall if she'd be able to write something up.
Oh, right. About,
Would she be able to do that? For me to be able to hand out a letter like, hey, here you go?
Oh, I didn't physically write anything, but yeah, she
Oh, no,
would
not
have,
physically, just
yeah,
in character saying, like, hey, here's authority figure saying I'm not
Yeah,
bullshitting.
she would have written something and given it to you.
In that case, I would like to pass that onward, so I'm not bullshitting her.
You kind of takes the note, kind of unfolds it for a moment, reads it. Well, I'll be damned. So this is legit. What you're telling me?
I actually was going to go to the High Priest. I didn't know she passed. Be the Stone Taker once again. But, well, you're quite capable and come from a very respectable lineage of holy folk, so perhaps if you have a moment I might be able to lean on your wisdom. You know,
Of course.
I know you've got a lot on your shoulders, but you seem like someone who can answer questions and solve problems, not just hide behind the door. I don't want to impose. You probably already have a lot going on.
Look, he kind of sets a hand on your shoulder for a moment. It'd be a nice break to confide in an ally, a friend.
Thank you. I've been having some odd visions. Dreams. These massive lakes of lava and fire. And each one is a little island of obsidian with an anvil, and as I step up and strike it, me barest of form with nothing but the anvil in me hand. Well, now it's this one, as he takes out the rune carvers and, shows that hammer. And each time I strike it, a new pedestal rises. And the end of each is a man and a woman. It's me grandparents, or to the greats, and great, and so on. Names underneath, flashes of visions, and these intense memories. Their memories, not my own, seen through their eyes. I couldn't understand it. I wrote Brasheim, and he sent me the full family ledger going back hundreds of years. And the name on that ledger matched perfectly with these, and I have memories that are not mine. And as I go forward, I get closer and closer to some shadowed figure, giant and looming. But when I don't strike the anvil right, everything crumbles. I turn to silver and fade into darkness. Till I was wearing that cursed ring, and instead a hungry maw swallowed me whole. It's the last vision I had, and that's when I fixed it and took off the curse. I haven't had one since, but it's been perplexing me, and I don't know what it means, because it seems like I'm getting closer, but I'm stuck in the same place at the same time, and I don't know what to make of it.
She thinks to herself deeply for a moment. It takes her a good minute or so before she replies. There was one person long before our time that had visions as vivid as these, and his name was Kazmorg. It was shortly before the battle for Ruin's Peak. No one quite knows what happened during that battle. Top of that tower. It's rare that the ancestors answer our pleas and questions directly. And I've heard it can happen to those who are truly devoted. Visions as vivid as these. I think that you're being prepared for something. I don't know what, I don't know when. But it's clear that one of the ancestor gods has looked upon you fondly. Maybe for something to come soon.
Well, I thank you for that. Strange things have been happening. Between visions, crying out for help, and indescribable things happening. And it's hard to make sense of it all. Along the journey through the Moorbog, we decided to lay siege to a fallen citadel claimed by a black dragon who had taken our friend. We liberated it, and the souls within obeyed that ring I carried. This was why it was on me, so we could quickly get through the place, and they answered. The terrible king answered. And so did every flock of soul that knelt to Bron Ferrixin II. And directly sent the aid of every leader. And we liberated Northwood away from a black dragon and her own Digitrade followers. Never seen anything like it. It's like a dragon that walked upright like a man. And now the souls protect that place. But I promised them that I would come back. That was the condition for letting us all free. So there's one more hold underneath our banner now. Northholm itself. And I said what I said in the heat of the moment, but I'd like formal permission.
You've certainly been up to a lot.
Yeah, it's been a bit busy. The war on the way, then another war, then I killed a green dragon, and then I killed a black dragon twice. And it was... she was a necromancer. But anyway, it was... and then there was the deal with the dryad and the regrowing the grove. I had a vision, by the way. We can regrow the Moorbog, but I digress. It's crazy, I know. But I saw dwarves with dryads and greens, and I saw the brightest silver and the blackest of rock just just tunnels spanning entire mountainsides. It's untouched. There are so many resources there. And there was a giant tree that bloomed greenery. Greener than anything in Maitland. But I'm sidetracked. I told the souls to get them to rest that I had claimed the city and they were free from their necromantic overlords that bound their souls to the place. But I didn't do so with the king's authority. I came here to let you know I've made progress for removing the curse, and I would like it, if I may, even if it's just a rune for now, be considered to lay claim to that lost city and make it great again. Make it green and silver.
And this was Morthal, which you liberated.
Hey,
A concerned
sunken
kind of
ziggurat.
oh, good.
You just said the sunken ziggurat.
Brow kind of furrows a bit. There's much to read about the accounts of Nogdur and his crimes he committed, but there is vanishingly little text or personal accounts about Nogdur's right-hand runesmith.
I have his journal.
Have his journal?
His hammer. He has things to answer for, but it seems he was tricked by a lich, promised power to save the soul of a dying wife, promise never fulfilled. Group venturous now. Oh, God called upon Salah, who has claimed his soul for the price of a tablet. It's far deeper webs than I know of. I trust me friends who better understand it, but he was a puppet that puppeted the king. Don't think Ashbite would have ever have done what he did had he not had the whispers of Bron. Bron not been tricked by an actual lich. Don't think he would have either. It's not to justify what they've done or excuse it, but
You know how
suppose give context.
you know how mad this all sounds, don't you?
Well, he holds out the journal and he rifles in his bag of holding, and he just kind of opens it a little bit and starts to take something out. And his fingers are dug into 2 eye sockets of a pure white skull. He's quite mad, but we can ask him yourself.
Eyebrows raise in surprise.
He has things to answer for. All he took was his head here, along with the vestments. But Complete Skull will let you at least speak with the dead and confirm all of this to be true.
Well, you certainly have no reason not to. At least some would believe you. You've been nothing but a stalwart ally so far.
And that's just what I want to prove myself as. Just let you know that efforts aren't just being made, but progress is. And we're trying to right the wrong that has happened here. There's not a soul left from what happened with the deep dwarves here. Whatever compelled them is gone, and whatever compelled Bronze out there, but his soul is in a different place. Both literally and metaphorically, but aye.
So, you're saying you wish to find this soul?
Oh yes. Well, we found it. I know where it is. I have to go trade for it.
What's your aim with this runesmith's soul?
Well, I'm trying to learn how he made his curses, so I know how to unmake them and clean the rest of the raiment.
You know, I wish I could help, but I'm not a rune crafter. I'm not as well versed in runic arts as some others might be. Sadly, that also extends to the history of runecrafting too, and all the individuals that entails. I do have a basic understanding of history. Ilara taught dwarfish history to me when I was a wee bear, pimples and all.
Interesting. Well,
I did, speaking of that raiment, I did attempt to destroy the axe, or at least disenchant it, but there's something there that doesn't want it gone. Either it's...
Slothies.
What?
He just whispers, Slothies. Giant, hungry, almost frog-like men, or eels, something slippery and disgusting, oozing blood and malice with a
You mean like the
maw full of
things...
teeth.
You mean like the things that, Ilara
The basement.
told to me about? Back when she was reading me fairy tales?
They're real. There was one in the ring. There's probably one in each piece. Being of endless hunger and desire. No wonder it compelled people to consume.
There is a lot that I need to comprehend here.
If you
And she kind of
mind,
sits back in her seat, just kind of gathering herself. You spilt like a lot of new knowledge on her that she's probably going to have to rethink her entire worldview after this.
Yeah, she's gonna have to sort of compartmentalize some things.
Yeah.
Like,
The
Training
insert
is
moment
fun
of
and
Joe
all.
Rogan.
pull that shit up.
Yeah.
Training's fun and all, but would you maybe care for a chat for a bit, and we can go over a little bit what's happened, and maybe I can answer some questions. I mean, you're kind enough to answer one for me, and I can sort of fill you in a bit.
I still remember how that axe affected Liska. No, wait, hang on.
Seems it was.
Wait, hang on. Fucking Tora was literally there when you fought the Slard. Never mind.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
Yeah.
I don't think she
That's why
would
he's
have
bringing
made
it
the
up.
connection that it was a Sly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe now that she hears I mean, you might not remember the name of some obscure fact from essentially when you were in primary school, but then you
kind of put two and two together. Oh shit, that was this.
What? Oh, the giant frog slug weird thing with the giant maw. Isn't that the thing that we fought in the basement with all the barrels? Oh shit.
Yeah. And when we put down that thing that was trapped inside of it, I did put two and two together. Yeah, ever since your friends got me out of the deep dark, I found myself questioning a lot of things I knew.
Questioning's a good thing to do right about. So.
It wouldn't surprise me to know that that thing was trapped in that ring. That was it. It's causing Nogdur to become cannibalistic, or at least enhancing some awful tendencies already there. I have a lot of questions, but it wouldn't hurt to see some of this for myself. You say you've got his journal there.
Absolutely. Take a read. He's going to hand that, and he's going to take out a couple of little pieces of additional proof, like, hey, here's all the... He pulls out, 5 Morthulm Council signet rings, kind of, not because we're in the city, doesn't want to be disrespectful, but sort of flasher bronze skull. Sort of be like, hey, I was wearing a brown one, little fur neck ornament, and now there's also a black fur cloak as well. This was his, and here's all this stuff. Here's the Rune Lord's hammer. This was his hammer, and just like, here's a bunch of stuff that it makes it very hard to do that. Oh, and here's a death mask or two, like a lot of things that all add up. You just sort of, oh.
So spending this good 15 minutes cart drive towards Fort Hammerhurst here, you spend that time filling her in on the details of what you've encountered, what you now know. And she kind of, after all that, as you kind of pull up to Fort Hammerhurst, the driver kind of calls back, "All right, your stop's up, princess." And he kind of gives you a humble nod, and you both disembark.
3 silver.
Thank you. And Tora mentions, all of this. Maybe this is what the ancestor spirits are preparing you for.
Aye. Perhaps. A strange thing is this ring. I've tried to put it on, but every time I do, it's like I hit a wall of air. And when I look at it, I have a feeling. I can't focus on it the way I can with other things. I have a vision in my head, just glowing symbols carved into nothingness. But the runes just read Rune Lord. And as that vision fades away, it's encircled in a ring. That is this one. And I don't know what it is. But until I can understand truly what that is, I feel I cannot bear its weight.
I would certainly recommend talking to what's his name? I've completely forgotten his name. Mr. Rune Lord, Mr. Guy at the Forge.
Oh yeah,
Dengar.
Dengar,
That's his name. I would
Dengar Rune.
Aye. He's the Rune Lord of Doonhollow. I would certainly recommend talking to him. This is far out of my area of expertise. Because if you've cleansed this ring, certainly the other pieces might be able to be cleansed in the same manner.
Perhaps, though I do not know if a second time the sky will part underground and a hammer will strike the armor, the hammer itself, and turn it into this.
Aye.
Perhaps I can do it a different way, now that I know mostly how.
Well,
Maybe Braun can reveal a secret.
Mayhaps. And at the name Bron, you can tell she's having difficulty accepting him as an innocent party in all of this. Her lips sort of thin at the name, and her tone grows a bit cold.
You recognize that look?
Perhaps, but maybe Dengar could also illuminate you on this.
I think they both would be vital sides of council. I don't think what Braun did was right, and I don't think it's excusable. But I think judgment shouldn't be passed without the whole perspective. At least that's the way I'm starting to think.
I'll be honest, with what I've just read in that journal, I feel more conflicted now than ever.
Maybe that's a sign of growth. Maybe that's something that we both have to learn a wee bit. I suppose uneasiness just means you're aware of more and blinded by less. At least that's what I've been thinking. But
Did you?
that aside,
Oh,
go on.
did you mention all of the details that you have in your vision? All of them. Everything that you saw.
Yeah, he's mentioning everything.
Okay.
You know, if I personally missed anything in the improv RP, that was on me. But for clarity, he would have mentioned all of the details in his visions and what's going on. He's not hiding anything. He's trying to find spiritual counsel in her, because he knows she's like the second most powerful cleric here, probably behind him.
Mm-hmm.
But raw power doesn't necessarily equate to understanding when she was raised by her mother, a fantastic cleric of his people, so.
Kind of pauses for a moment and looks as though to ask you something. Pauses again and then comes out and asks you, you mentioned during your visions that vision of the silver crown corroding.
I was grasping up for it as I fell into that blackness of maws and tendrils. I tried to pull myself into the heat of the lava to wake up, but the blinding weight of pain turned into darkness, and through all that, the only glimmer of light was the sheen of the silver cloud before it corroded and tarnished, and I don't know how the silver, but the silver rusted like cheap iron, corroded and crumbled away, turning into ash.
Maybe... And she kind of stops herself. No, that can't be it. Anyway, training?
Absolutely. Let's do some training and talk about something a little bit brighter. Eh?
Aye, that'd be nice.
That it would. Oh, biscuit. As he holds out a little bracken brick snack before they begin their training. And then we can maybe fade to someone else.
Okay.
That took longer than expected, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Right, so who wants to do something here?
I'll do something with the car.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be going to the Argon's Tower to talk to Hammerstone. He's looking around. Where would Hammerstone be at the moment?
At this moment, you could probably find him in his office.
And that's exactly where she will go.
Alright, ascending a number of complex spiral staircases that seem to every so often shift and change, extruding into rooms where they wouldn't normally be on the exterior of the tower. But you've memorised these patterns by now.
Kind of like the back of my hand.
Yep. So, you eventually come to at the very apex of the tower. The immaculate kind of silver wrought wooden door. That is his office.
It's a gentle rap. Mr. Hammerstone, are you in? Are you busy?
Aye, Dejar, come in.
And she opens the door.
You creak open the door into this magnificent, large office space. You can see behind him is this illusory vignette of a calming summertime forest. You can see a number of books sort of seem to shift and reorient themselves and sort of reorganize themselves into alphabetical order along the shelves as he kind of gestures with a hand occasionally to bring one book over, kind of flicks through it for a moment to do so. Seems as though he's doing his own research. He places it, kind of drifts it back over to another shelf, and without even looking up from his current book, you can see him kind of adjusts his spectacles for a moment. Hey, what is it, Dejar?
Might as well just come clean about my absence. It's a rather heavy subject, and I have a lot to answer for.
Hey?
Without the proper protocol or notifying my superiors, I went AWOL and joined the Black Hand as a court wizard.
I know.
So, and also I've been keeping them off the radar.
Now pauses, looking through his book, and looks over the rim of his glasses up towards you, Deshal. But that very that look of like a father who can see his offspring has just realised a lesson, but he just says nothing.
You were right. I was reckless, and I didn't think before acting. I reacted, and it put me in a more terrible situation than just waiting. You were right.
And claps the book shut, sets it aside, steeples his hands, and leans forward. We've discussed this before, Dejar. It seems to be a pattern with you.
I know. And he pauses for a moment. I've learned my lesson in 3 ways. One is to always look and think before you act. That came in the shape of, I know you're going to berate me for this, a deal with a hag.
He kind of he pinches the bridge of his nose.
He puts her hands up like, wait a minute, there's more. I don't remember what I was obsessed with, but that is no longer the forethought in my mind. What is My mission is to safeguard the generations that come after us and the present moment. The second, don't be so quick to look for the word, looking skyward for a moment. Be so trusting, because everyone that you want to help is not your friend, and everyone that you fight is not your enemy. I understand that now. And the final one is, don't be always too prideful to ask for help. I got myself into this mess because I didn't think to ask for help. I was stubborn. I got into... She just gestures to the air. This whole debacle was the Black Hand, my rashness and recklessness, and it may cost more people their lives because I didn't wait or ask for help as needed.
Kind of sits up in his chair, folds his arms for a moment, and gives you this look of, huh. And he says, well, colour me surprised, Ajar. Seems as though you've done some growth.
It was very painful.
Growing pains always are.
I'm trying to fix my mistakes. Firstly, part of what the Black Hand has been doing, and I kept them off the radar. She's trying not to say it, but it's the look on her face is like, I fucked up bad. I just don't want to say how much I fucked up.
Let's see. This is passive insight here. Okay. So, Reinhold sort of gives you a fair look over, closely examines your face. You're in bad with the Black Hand, aren't you?
Yes. And the road I'm about to go down might get me killed.
Well, there's one thing we can do to stave off the influence of the Black Hand. I do have plans to tell the Itzel as cattle from the Shaman's Mantle about this potential invasion of their forces that you told me that may be coming to their city. Perhaps that will prepare them enough to form a reasonable counter-offensive. They can
and he holds up a finger. And the fact that he has allies with Elizabeth Rain and Hesut.
This is some serious news that you've just told me, Dejar.
Yeah, about that.
What do you mean, Elizabeth?
Since I completed my hunter's test with the Longsmore Lodge, I've been able to scry briefly on assumingly Elizabeth Rain's resurrection.
He seems speechless for a moment, as if he's connecting the dots in his head. Actually, I'm going to have to roll for this. Oh, come on. Oh no, Chrome, why you got to freeze on me?
Because it's Chrome.
Because it's Chrome, yep. He's gonna roll an investigation check to try and connect those dots in his head from the information he's been told. Once Chrome unfreezes.
Hopefully soon.
Yep. There we go. So investigation. He kind of thinks to himself for a moment, and you see his eyes sort of darting around. He flicks over one book from the bookshelf. It drifts over, lands in front of him, and he kind of opens it up at a few pages, flicks through, seems to find a page that he's looking for, and drifts it back to the bookshelf. And I'm going to have to speak with the representative of the Royal Mages Guild. This is some dire news.
I've been trying to keep Vaughn updated. I haven't been scrying on her again or anything else since my trip to the Moorbog, so I may be doing that again a little later on this evening. I'll keep you updated.
There are rumours going around through the grapevine. The Eastern Commonwealth. Something's happening over there. Lots of...
Yeah.
There's been lots of assassinations of political figures recently over there.
The Yard is aware, and also the Yard also notes Elizabeth is raising an army, an undead army, which he can assume.
Things are looking grim in Targovia right now. You should be thankful that you got out when you did.
Yeah, also I did spike whatever bloodbath he was supposed to be resurrected in with holy water, so might have dampened a little bit of her spirits. He puts a small smile.
I fear if this is the case, then Targovia may soon fall to her. It would not surprise me if these assassinations were her doing. I've spoken with Sir Whitefang before. Yeah, the keep has faced her once before, but I fear the keep may have to do so again.
I haven't had the time, but she ruffles through her bag and brings out a necklace, the one that Grunka gave her. I could not identify this
Grunka,
correctly.
This is the small, stony goblinoid?
Deepling. He holds out the necklace that has almost red stones.
So what's this? if I might ask. And he kind of holds out his kind of a wrinkled dwarfen hand.
What do y'all remembers Grunka telling her? There was an attack on them when Grunka had this, and he wanted her soul back, and it was locked into this.
Do you hand it over to him?
Yeah.
Kind of examines it for a moment. I've just lost the parchment sheet. Kind of examines it for a moment. Oh, fuck's sake, Chrome. It's weird. It's whenever I open and close open sheets that it freezes up.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start using Firefox.
Are there any other tabs you could maybe close? See if that will reduce the memory load?
I can't. If I click on Chrome right now, it's gonna do not responding.
I mean, when it calms itself down.
No, it's just the. There we go.
There, 28.
28. Kind of examines it very closely. You see these runic markings here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a phylactery.
So similar
at least,
to the one.
Well, not quite a large phylactery. It's capable of only holding a fragment of a soul.
Kind of like the one we stopped a dragon necromancer from making. Interesting.
Right. Okay.
I'll fill you in on. You know what? He just takes a copy of the report he made Selma and just puts it on his desk. You'll read that. It'll sum up everything.
Right. For a later time.
Yes.
So, this phylactery. It seems as though this only held a fragment of her soul. Am I to assume that the reason she lives once more is because she had gathered the other fragments of her soul?
This one can assume so, yes.
I will. Oh, can't the bloody crown is stopping the hunters keeping his tracks.
Well, I can notify.
No, I will
head
speak.
hunter.
I will speak to the Royal Mages Guild. The Ebony Enclave will have to get involved.
Ooh. That bad.
Elizabeth is some call her the bride of the devil for very good reason.
You know, I do remember the hag telling me the history of Elizabeth.
Elizabeth was a tyrant, unmatched.
Yep.
Ruled over Targovia for many, many years.
Interesting. The hags told me that before all that, her parents were dying and she tried to save them. But she couldn't.
As far as I know, She made deals with some horrific entities, some dark deals to save those she loved. But we can reminisce on her history another time. Right now, I need to message a few people.
Okay, can I have that necklace back so I can keep scrying for the headhunter of Longsmore Lodge?
One moment. And with that, he kind of flicks a hand, and there's a flicker of a blue-purple light across his eyes, and his eyes kind of dance around the runes for a moment as he closely examines it. The glow in his eyes fades. He hands it back to you.
And he puts it back in the bag of holding.
Right, if you would leave me to my business, I have much to do.
Right. Later. And he leaves.
As you kind of turn to leave, he kind of pauses and says with a very sort of dour tone, "Good luck."
And you too, Master heads Hammerstone. And she leaves, closing the door behind her.
Alright. So, is there anything else you'd like to do here at the August Tower, or shall we move over to someone else?
Yeah, she moves somewhere else.
Before you do move to someone else, Spice, this is the Augure's Tower. This might be a good place to stock up on some wizardry supplies.
I already did that, actually.
Indeed.
Wait.
Because if you're gonna do scroll scribing as a side business and learning it as well, this is the place you know.
Yeah, I got a lot of ink, a lot of parchment, a lot of scrolls, so I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah. I just want to make sure so you don't end up like me on the road and be like, fuck.
Yep.
Nope, I took highly detailed notes of what I needed.
Okay. Anyone else?
Most I can think of is generic shopping on my part. That is something we can do afterwards.
Okay.
Just haven't been able to because, condition.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, Velm's gonna go to that there gemstone quarter.
Yes, you wanted to find a number of exotic goods.
Yeah, he's gonna peruse the what's there and.
In the market.
Yep. Because we've seen all the vendors and they got their good buck standard stuff, but you want that fancy exotic biz.
Right. Let's see. Remind me what you wanted to. Because
I should have it.
Christmas hectic time
Yes,
of
I
the
do.
year. It's not much I've
It's
been able
fine.
to.
I'll. There you go. I
Oh,
did the
here we go.
DM thing.
Okay. Okay.
No, I don't expect he'll find everything, but he'll at least look around and see if anything lines up with his goal, with his sort of wandering mind at all.
Let's see here. So just make me an investigation check.
Oh man, intelligence skill, let's go. Let's hope I don't get mugged this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad for a
Alright.
minus.
Okay. So as you enter the gemstone bazaar, it is a hectic atmosphere of color, many unusual faces. Not just dwarves. You can see individuals from all over Mayland and beyond. You can see let's see exotic silks from all the way across to from. Sorry, never really.
Janner, slow down.
Yeah. You
It's
can
okay. Take a breath, get your brain in gear, and then.
Yeah. You can see exotic silks from Ambrosia. You can see strange carts. What would you call them? Food carts
Balls?
of all sorts. You can see, actually, in fact, one individual stands out to you. An individual wearing what looks like traditional sort of Nioban garb. He looks like a noble, actually. Sort of darker skin, bald on top. This long, wide, golden. What would you call it? Long golden mantle, ornate robes, and he appears to be handing out what looks like small leaflets of parchment to any passerby.
Sus mode activated, motherfuckers, Nioban.
I was about to say, Nioban Prince touches your shoulder and wants your attention. He's totally gonna be like, trade me like 50 gold and I'll give you this.
I am a Nioban prince lost in a foreign land. I need your help.
Yikes.
That's definitely gonna draw Velen's attention quite a bit. He's not gonna cause a scene because obviously he doesn't like that they're here or what their intentions might be. But like, is he like in the middle of the quote unquote street? I think I'll have to go by him, or is he like off to the side? What's he doing?
He's sort of in the middle of the street. You can see he's wearing. Actually, as you kind of get a bit nearer, you can see something hanging around his neck. What appears to be an amulet with the symbol.
Is it Hepzit doing finger guns?
No.
Sorry.
But you do see what looks like the emblem of a golden scarab with a sundial depicting the cat o' nine tails. Which
is that something I would immediately recognize, or do I have to?
Yes, this is the heraldry of Hefsut.
Oh boy!
Brazen motherfucker.
Big
Yeah.
yikes.
Again, Velen isn't about to cause a scene, but there are two things he does. Firstly, because this was like probably like just before this, but his last experience here was a little bit negative. So since Vladimir is with him, he's gonna like get her to get on his shoulders. So then, you know, she's A, out of the throngs of crowds, and B, less likely to get mugged.
Is she with you?
She's always, unless I say otherwise, because it's easier just to assume she's there than to constantly be saying, she's with me, she's with me. At least that's the way I've been treating it with Jenner. Oh, am I wrong with that? Maybe my memory forgot something.
She's kind of sticking close by you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just want to be sure, because I've been treating it like that just so we don't bog the game down with checking in where she is.
You can also see this individual is surrounded by what looks like, or rather, flanked on either side, are two Black Hand guards.
Of course he is. Well, the second thing I'm doing is I'm getting my Heraldry of Ulsham out. Like, it's sort of tucked in most cases, but now it's just on display. It's out and around my neck, over the chest plate. And as Velen passes, he's just gonna eyes fixed on this individual, just give him a look. Not like a deliberate stink eye look, but a like, I know who you are, watch yourself kind of look. And then having that Heraldry on display. But other than that, he will not engage, because he has no idea what the fuck's going on here. The fact that he's here in the first place and has a retinue of sorts means that he's allowed to be here. And he ain't got the patience to deal with more fucking bureaucracy right now. But he's definitely getting given the stink eye, I don't think.
As you kind of pass, you do catch his gaze, and he has this sort of friendly kind of almost exuberant air to him as he's handing out these leaflets to passers-by. Some of them take them without even thinking. Some of them, some individuals seem to shrug him off. But as you walk by, you do catch his gaze, and he kind of goes to hand a parchment leaflet towards you, and immediately sees the Alchemic heraldry, and just sort of recoils and pretends to ignore you.
Smart man. Not too smart considering what he's doing, but smart enough to realize not to even attempt to engage. And that he will just sort of like Velm's eyes will stay on him until like he's a safe enough distance away, like even just like looking in peripheral vision until a good distance away. And then when he's out of earshot, Vladimir. You saw that man back there. Did you see what he had around his neck?
It was like a necklace?
That specific kind. If you see anyone with that symbol, you stay away from them. They're bad people.
He was a bad man?
At least he worships a bad person. But they're usually trouble.
If they are trouble, why are the guards not arresting him?
The world's complicated sometimes. At the moment, I don't get why, but I'm not about to cause any sort of fighting in the street.
Oh. Okay.
Gotta go. And then they're gonna continue going about shopping. Keeping an eye out for... Yeah, because he's sort of just wandering about in a bit, not in like a malaise, but just no real aim to his motions. I know what I'm looking for, he doesn't.
Every so often,
I see a thing.
Every so often you can see kind of Vladimir just kind of looking over her shoulder back towards where you saw the Nioben noble. And she's keeping her wits about her.
It's good. This is like a huge stretch, so hopefully we'll be like a distance away where we won't have to worry about that.
So, with an 18, one thing also kind of catches your gaze. Amidst an assortment of various strange curios and rings and all sorts, stylish leathers and strange foreign-looking garb. You can see hung up like a display piece along the back of one stall is a sort of gold-looking staff. It's kind of long, very, very ornately crafted, and what looks like is this sort of like a sort of laid-back crescent shape at the very head. I'll do a little drawing here for you.
Ah, doodle time! Hell yeah!
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you can draw on the map, Janner.
It's your map. You can do whatever you want.
Oh no! Hang on.
You made this.
Suddenly, the game explodes.
God damn it! Hang on.
So just to reiterate in my brain, it's a gold-looking staff, and at the tip of it is essentially a crescent, like a scythe, or more like a moon. Ooh. Ah, one of them deals.
Like that.
Okay. And besides its very auspicious material and shape, what else sort of catches the eye about it?
The metal almost has the same glimmer to it as your sword.
Well, that's definitely enough to warrant attention. So he'll make his way over. And this stall is it like an odds and ends stall? Is it just, or is it?
Yeah,
what kind of stall is it?
It just seems like there's all sorts of stuff here. There's various well-made silks. What looks like this sort of line of rings. You can see what looks like small statuettes off to one side. You can see what looks like a sort of what almost looks like a tiara around this mock wooden carved bust.
So various nice odds and ends.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, he may be out of it, but he knows how merchants work, so he's not gonna go straight for the item. He's gonna look about everything before clearing his throat. What can you tell me about that piece there? And he'll direct it, point to the staff.
You see what looks like a hooded figure tending to something within the corner of the store, kind of shadowed from the rest of the brazier light, and turns around, and you notice what looks like some sort of flick of an ear underneath the hood. And as he turns around, you can see fur. This is no human or dwarf or halfling that you would normally see here. Instead, what you see is this sort of tall, kind of lanky looking. Best way I could describe it would be like a humanoid jaguar.
Ah, okay. Yes, I forgot they existed.
And you
They what?
you kind of address him. He goes, hello. Yes, you wish to. Sorry, what did he say he wanted to do?
Vellum asked him, "What can you tell me about this piece?"
This once belonged to a. Sorry, I'm just going to grab my notes here.
Let's go. Just casually watching everyone talk about grenades in the chat.
Wait, what?
It's a very lengthy, in-depth conversation about frag grenades in the chat. I've just been letting them have their fun. You guys kill me.
He says,
Yeah, I remember the generated cat race. I just forgot because they haven't been prominent in the story for us yet.
Yes, they're called the Shard.
Not like the shard. I'm getting a little giggly, but it means I'm improving in energy.
This once belonged to a Nioban noble of sorts many years ago. Far before the breaking of the Golden Sun.
I would like to try two things, Jainer. First off, I want to try and suss out if he's talking up the product to make it seem more valuable, and his story is legit. That's the first thing I wanted.
Alright, make an insight check.
Vellum knows well enough that people inflate the value of things if they want to make a good profit. Okay, so what was it again? Insight?
Yes, insight check.
15, not terrible.
15. He seemed, as sketchy as he does look, he seems on the up and up. It seems like something that would have once belonged to a Nioban noble many centuries ago.
It does definitely draw attention. And the second thing I wanted to do was sorry, I'm trying to put it into words in my brain. Does something like this, like from its sort of make, its material, and how it similarities to to what I currently possess. Does that line up with his story? Like, can I recall if that makes sense, or yeah? Because I don't want to make logic.
Make a history check.
Alrighty. -1. Let's go.
17.
You know what? I'll take it. I've been rolling well on these things I'm not proficient with.
It seems like it might be genuine, actually. It looks like it may have gathered dust and like he's recently polished it up for display purposes.
Okay. Then will take a minute. Is it like on the stand, or is it like behind the counter kind of deal?
It's
like how displayed?
It's sort of up top behind him. It's sat how like one might sit, say a katana, if you will.
Okay, so on like a sort of Okay, I get you.
Yeah, there you go. And he says,
"Well, it looks like an interesting decorative piece. Would you mind I have to take a quick look at it?"
It is a collector's item. Once belonged to a Niobe noble, a war hero. It was excavated by the forces of Hifsut, and was then lost and found, exchanged many hands from many collectors over the years. So, make a persuasion check.
Yeah, because from both perspectives, it's like I want to know it's real. He wants to make sure I don't run off with it.
15.
I'm getting very consistent around the 15s today. You'd think with all my bonuses I'd be okay.
I'm more impressed we managed to get a 15, 17 2 times in a row.
I would very much prefer if it was left here, but you can gaze upon its majesty from afar.
Jenner, question. With certain items and objects, I don't know if Velen would fully know this, but he does have a merchant background, so with things like this, do they, in your world, do like the writs of God, there's a word for it, like a little slip of paper that says this is genuine, and people who made it, who sort of examined
certificate
it,
of office.
That's the word. Thank you. God, that was bugging the shit out of me. Certificate of authenticity. Is that a concept in this world?
Probably not for sketchy sellers in the Gemstone Quarter.
Worth asking.
You might
tucking that away for later.
You'll be able to get something like that from, say, like a registered magic item shop.
Oh yeah, a reputable merchant or an auction, but not from a shady dude on the street. This is going to be harder then. With my eyes.
Sorry, especially with your earlier insight check, this guy seems like he would delve into the black market.
Yeah, he's I do believe him when he says it switched many hands. Whether those hands were dirty or clean is a whole other kit and caboodle. But since I'm limited to just looking at it, can I try to surmise if it's genuine or not? Because while he may believe it's a valuable thing, Velem's very particular. So like I'm thinking like uses of design, like the design schemes in its construction, the look of the metal. Like you said, it was similar to what the Sunblade is, but he has experience with metal, so maybe he can glean if it's like just gilded or some shit.
Also,
as much as he can do with his eyes.
Yeah. I will say just make a perception check with advantage, because this is your area of expertise.
Okay.
Or you can do
I
it.
was too persuaded.
Oh, so,
Sorry, or I can do what?
or you could do like a Smith's tools check with intelligence.
I hate that you said that because I have expertise with my Smith's tools, but intelligence is my dump stat, so I think I'll just go with the perception.
Okay. 22.
Bye.
This seems like the genuine article. And you gather it would be. It probably holds a hefty price to it. You can definitely see how he might say it's a collector's item. In the
He knows its rough value.
Yeah.
I feel like it has a higher value than he understands.
Yeah, in a similar way to say how a very wealthy individual might collect, say, historical artifacts.
Well, during this time of thinking, Velm's gonna pretend to peruse other wares as he thinks, but it's making it clear he's having a thonk. And then he'll sort of return to his focus to it purposefully.
So, how much are you looking to get to part with that then?
He kind of strokes it, the long hairs of what looks like some semblance of a beard. For you, I will sell it for, shall we say, 1,800 platinum. You look like the gentleman who can afford such a thing.
I'm just, yeah, I have no means. Out of character, I have no means of affording that. Ooh. What was the numbers again?
1,800 platinum.
1,800 platinum. Owie. I don't even have 800 platinum. Sorry, bear with me. I'm just thinking of how to approach this, because obviously just haggling alone isn't going to be enough to bring that down.
What
you should do is you just severely undercut him. Be like, I'll give you 500 platinum.
Yeah, I don't even have that much, though. That's the problem. I'm going to have to come back with either have a way to just strong arm him out of it, or come back later with a plan. But if we want to go to somebody else for a minute, I'm fine with that. I'm just thinking
gold.
1,800 platinum. That's 18,000 gold. Yes.
Yes. Do you have that much gold pieces? Or perhaps this guy seems like he'll do some bartering for some valuable gems. Also, maybe you could talk to one of your other magic friends that can cast Identify and make sure you're not paying 18,000 gold for a Maul Ninja sword.
Yeah.
The Maul Ninja sword.
Well, if we want to pan over while I have a bit of a think, because I admittedly didn't think I'd just have to think this hard while shopping, which is fine. But if somebody else wants to do something while I think, that's totally fine. I'm just going to look over my inventory, look over my options, and
All right then.
see what I can do.
Because I know Angus had a couple things he wanted to do while here as well.
Hey, I've done my own personal scene at the start. I'm fine to be last to get back to things, you know.
Okay.
I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to play, not just me.
All right.
We've done me, Dejar, and now we're going back to him. I don't know if Liska, Sal, or Grunka have anything to do. I really want to make sure everybody gets a chance before we
Yeah, I don't
focus
want to
on-
leave Grunky in the dust again.
Yeah.
But I don't know if...
Yeah.
Any takers?
Not currently, but I also have to go use the bathroom for a bit, so...
Okay.
It's okay.
Liska's...
Grunker's just staring at the sun, don't worry about it.
Hopefully with his last.
Is
Yeah,
there anything you
sunglasses.
want to do as a player, though?
No,
Like anything you want to do, Git?
no. I'm just staring at the sun. in very suspiciously, and I don't really believe what I'm seeing. It's like a flat earther seeing the curve of the earth, and like, no, this isn't
I'll
right.
see what all the faces are.
I imagine he's staring at it long enough that he's like starting to see the solar flares and the little fire bursts and things like that. Why is it fuzzy? Why has it
I'm
got
starting to think
worms?
he's not seeing anything after staring at it for that long.
Yeah.
You do
Cookie
have his
just goes
So
blind.
you do have his glasses on, but yeah.
I mean, not being blinded, being in bright light is a little bit different than, you know, staring into the sun. I bet he's gonna have a killer tan. Or sunburn.
My
He's
God.
gonna look like those dudes that, like, stared at the sun with the solar eclipse, and instead their faces are just like fucking tomato.
Yeah.
Oh
You know,
my
because he's so pale.
Oh, Grunker.
I do have a thought if nobody's going to go.
Yeah, no. He's just gonna look at the sun a bit and be like, no.
No,
yeah,
don't
right.
believe it.
Then it's just gonna
Question.
go back in.
Quick
Sun's
question
not real.
since
It's just a big bug.
Gander.
Mhm.
How long would that talk with taking for Jakar with Master Hammerstone?
Not long, I imagine.
Yeah. Okay. Then since you would have been heading over to the gem store quarter anyway, because you need some a powder and ivory anyhow for one of her spells.
Ah, right. Ivory.
Get her some illegal elephant goods. Well, I think.
Yep. You would be able to find ivory in the gemstone quarter. You can see a number of tusks, and both large and small are sort of on sale if you know where to look. In fact, make an investigation check.
Of course.
Hey, what was that one plant you needed, saffron, to do your thing?
It was, yeah, it was saffron.
Don't forget that.
7.
You'll be able to get it.
No, wait, that's party. Yeah, what the hell?
Oh wait, yeah, you got to do it from your own cheat.
Okay. I could do
But
from the thing.
but you did roll a 7, so add your investigation modifier to it.
Let me see. Plus 7.
Although
so that's 14.
I think you have it. You can do it with advantage, can't you?
Yeah, I can because I have minute seeing glasses. So
And actually, your background feature, ear to the ground, I believe, would come in handy here.
yep.
So actually, you don't even need to roll. Never mind. Yeah, you are able to find ivory in these sort of seedier areas of the gemstone quarter. You have to go through a few back rooms to do so. But you do find a source of ivory that you can feel free to purchase from.
How much would it be? Let's say about hand size.
About a pound of ivory. Once Chrome stops freezing, I can show you, or tell you rather. You know what? I'm just gonna. Firefox. Is it if I recall? Fuck's sake, Firefox needs to log in. I'm just gonna pause the recording here.
That's true.
Okay, so
Hold up.
per pound of ivory is approximately 40 gold.
Well, it's on my spell. Hold up for a second. Yep. For my spell, it doesn't really per se the worth of the ivory itself. I think it's just all together with the gemstones encrusted into it. So
Yeah, the gemstones will be the most expensive part of that.
So it's not ivory worth, it's gems and ivory worth.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
So
Which spells?
yeah,
It's like the Hunter's Feast Bowl.
No, it's the contingencies. Hold up.
Oh no, I was saying it's like the Hunter's Feast Bowl. Like the combined bowl and gems have to equal what, 2,000.
So
This guy's 1,500.
yeah, 40 gold. All right.
Yep. 40 gold per pound of ivory.
I mean, if you think about the size that you put the gem, 1,500's worth of gems can very easily be just a few gems. So if you buy like, I don't know, 5 pounds in 1 pound increments and have 5 1-pound statues that you carve out and just have slots for the gems to just hook ones in of certain value, just slot it in there, you're good. You know, you don't have to buy a whole lot.
Yeah. Two things. One, did you restart the recording, Jenner?
Yep, I've just started it.
Cool. Two, can you not just get it commissioned and be like, hey, can you commission me a 3-inch tall figure of myself with gems? I'll pay you 1,500 for it. Like, does it really, like, that would cover it, right?
No sharp corners either.
No sharp corners. Yeah, I need it sharp corners and a flared. No sharp corners and a flared base.
I want exclusively sharp corners.
It would. That would be easier to do it than probably asking one of the party members to craft it for me. But
It depends if you want to save time or money. Save money, you can get one of us to do it. Save time, you can just get.
Well, no, that's the
pay
thing.
somebody to make it.
It won't save money. It has to be 1,500 gold.
yeah, either way, it has to be the exact amount, or the spell
Well,
doesn't work.
they may charge extra for creation costs.
I mean,
as long
plus,
as you pay 1,500, who gives a fuck?
Well, there's an option.
I think I'm gonna go with my original plan and get the materials, and I have the gem, so I can ask Angus and Velm to help me to crafting it.
All right. So how many pounds of ivory do you want?
4 pounds.
Okay, so that's 160 gold.
Okay, then so let me.
So just deduct that, and I'll drop 4 pounds of ivory in your inventory.
Okay. Oh. Oh wait, nope, hold up. 1 second. I have to do it manually because it's not doing the thing. There we go.
Have you considered this guy? You wanted to do some stuff, didn't you?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, let's go. After telling the stories, was gonna go back, and as they all agreed, a couple hours after they departed, they were gonna meet up someplace.
Mm-hmm.
But one person has decided to go out and train with the princess. One person decided to talk to someone and go, and so yeah, Liska's probably just gonna be sitting in a bar, just chilling.
Like where the fuck is everyone?
Yeah.
In my defense,
These
I
fucking
have no
assholes.
memory.
It's not bad. I make them pay for tab to make up.
That was the player's fault in my case, not the characters.
Oh, I know. I purposely didn't say anything because I was like, "You fuckers, you forget."
I do apologize.
I was thinking about it, but at the same time, I'm not
yeah,
gonna
it's
turn
all
down the chance.
Am I the only one who's actually gonna show up?
Probably.
You might be, because here's another thing I wanted to ask. I'm looking for a route that the Naga people.
Okay.
Weird drug route. Drug using.
So it'd be Dusk Vein.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
That
So
sounds legal.
So
Maybe.
again, with your background feature and here in the Gemstone Quarter, where you gather a lot of illegal stuff does take place here, away from prying eyes, and after doing a bit of bit of subtle nodding to a few vagrants around the area, Dejard drug deal. Let's go.
I knew this was gonna happen.
You are directed to what is equivalent here in Doonholler to like an underground crack den.
You damn it.
There is a rather unscrupulous-looking Naga, sort of partaking in almost like a sort of like dusk vein hookah, if you will.
Yeah. Yep. As assumed.
You can see these sort of glistening puffs of blue smoke as this dingy little hovel underneath the gemstone core. You gather it probably kind of leads out into the Underhollow somewhere.
Yep.
So to prevent this sort of dragging on, I will say 1 pound of dusk vein will run you about 50 gold.
That'd be enough.
Okay. So I don't have a dusk vein item in the directory, so what I'll do, you go ahead and deduct 50 gold, and I'll add it in your inventory after the game.
Okay then.
Oh boy.
Now that drug dealing is aside, I think I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Though I do have a quick question, Jenner.
Yes.
I know we went back when we fought the Green Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
We did it in the woods, but I'm struggling to find on the map where it was because I know it was before we got to Treason.
Right.
But I don't see a forest except for the one that's north. But I swear we went south off the road.
I believe if I grab the Malin map.
Yeah, I'm on it right now.
That would have been the Sando Thicket.
Oh, it was before Lakesvale. That's what.
Yes.
Yeah, because we came around. Okay, into that valley and then down. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Alrighty, because I have a plan. Okay, just gonna get my words in my brain here. He's gonna take some time. Like he's gonna try and make no reaction to the absurd price that's been presented to him. And
well, that is a very sizable price, though you seem like a gentleman who can appreciate a worthwhile barter.
and he's sort of gonna look into his bag. And he's gonna do he's gonna take this out very delicately, like almost exaggeratively delicate. And he's gonna take out the young green dragon horn that he's got.
Okay.
I don't know if Velen would have had it wrapped or anything, probably, who knows. But he'll take it out without showing him at first, and sort of giving some allure to the whole deal.
Tell me, what do you know of dragons?
I'm gonna have him roll a nature check for this.
Fuck all, apparently.
I know a fair bit about dragons. Make an insight check.
Fair.
He knows nothing about dragons.
Well, as you likely know,
He's going to play along to it, pretending he believes him.
there are many types, and all of them dangerous and things of legend. And I acquired this recently.
He sort of carefully unveils the well-cut horn because Liska probably carved the damn thing off or something. And sort of like keeping it arm's length away, still keeping that allure and mystery to it.
Far to the southwest of here, in the Sandow thicket, there was a rather troublesome green dragon. Foul beast. Its lair stank to high heaven from what I hear. And this, among many other things, was carved and cleaved clean from it by, among other reputable names, the, sorry, I had to stop here because Liska's promotion, is that the sort of thing that's public knowledge? Is it like just an in-house thing, or is it like a...
I don't think... Me personally, I don't think it'd be like we're parading through the streets to talk.
Yeah.
I think it would be something that was talked about.
Yeah.
There's a new Grand Huntress. Yeah, there's a new Grand Huntress.
Okay, so I am good to mention that, because I didn't know if it was like I didn't know how insular the Hunter's Keep was from the rest of Dune Hollow. Okay, anyway.
It's also worth noticing she's been here for quite a while, doing this for many years, so she's at least a familiar
Yeah, good point.
face.
Yeah, she's like a known face. Back to my original sentence, sorry.
Cleaved from the damn beast by, among other illustrious names, the newest Grand Huntress Liska, and Algrim Brackenbrick, one of the new Mountain Guard. So as you can see, this is a very valuable and unique item.
So again, give him a moment to peruse it and process all the information. And yes, I know I used the wrong name, because not everyone knows that he's Angus.
Big brain.
Make me a persuasion check.
Now, question. If I want to use inspiration, can I do it after the fact and re-roll?
I think that's how we've been doing it.
Okay. Because I know we got Thread of Fate, which works slightly differently, and I wanted to be sure before I rolled. I'm gonna re-roll that, because that is... Yes, I will re-roll.
Why not? Yeah.
This is setting up the value of it, so it is important. I'm going to use my inspiration for that.
Okay.
Jeez, these 17s.
Well, you're
He's
over a
loving these 17s right now.
He kind of examines the horn for a brief moment, and he's also going to insight check you.
Well, I'm not lying. He can insight all he pleases.
He kind of nods at you. You definitely don't seem to be lying to him. You've garnered his interest, and he just... I have stumbled upon many dragon parts in my time. And with your
Insight.
earlier... insight check. Yes.
17 again? What the fuck?
No, he hasn't. He's just bullshitting you.
Yep.
Oh, that bullshit.
Gotta keep the facade up. It's a tactful game.
And this looks
I'll
like
let him continue.
this looks like a prime example of a dragon horn. Liska Aluma, you say, the Grand Huntress.
The very same.
And I strokes his chin beard. Fascinating. Go on. Do go on. I wish to know more.
Well, as you no doubt know, those of the Hunter's Keep tend to have a very particular way of divvying out the select pieces they get from their hunts, and usually there's a number of more resourceful and reputable people that get first dibs on these sorts of things, as well you know. This is not one of those cases. And considering the value you present before me, and the value this item holds, especially considering the difficulty of acquiring anything like this outside of the usual means, I can't see why we can't come to a mutually beneficial exchange.
Perhaps. It all depends on your price.
Well, simply put, I'll not mince words since you seem like the sort to do so. A simple, straight-off trade. The value of these horns for their magical potency alone is quite sizable. But, as I mentioned, those without actual need for it, or collectors, not able to pry them from the hands of the mages or the local wealthy people, might be very interested in acquiring it, especially given that its original owner was slain. And let's be honest, we both know how rare dragons are. And I'm going to sort of feed into his lack of knowledge by providing the information that they are rare as shit.
So this would be, I imagine, a deception check on your part.
Can certainly attempt that. While not incorrect, it is definitely used for incorrect means.
Yeah. You're doing a bit of deception here.
Yeah, I'm doing a bit of slyness. Just a straight roll?
I would say yes.
Okay, I just wanted to check before I go hit and hold. You know how finicky the sheets are.
I think you also have your thread of fate if you want to use that.
Oh, good to know. I will bear that in mind if I fail this horribly. Let me just double check the thread of fate so I'm not wrong.
Just in case.
Because I've done that before and I've fucked myself, so... Oh, it's in my unique items, but that's one. Thread of... Ba-ba-ba. Okay, so I have to use it before if I want to... It's not like inspiration where you re-roll afterwards, you have to use it before according to the text, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use it now then, because this is a big roll to do, and deception's not my strong suit. I don't know if I had the resource applied, but I'll hit the button just to be sure. Boop. Okay, it's already... I didn't click it in the first place, so it's fine. Anyway,
Are you gonna blue ball it anymore, or...?
What are the fucking
that is
odds?
the 5th or 6th 17 I've had in a row today.
Okay.
Today's number of the day.
15 to get.
So gratuitously above average. Yeah, 17's pretty good. He's going to make an insight check.
Yes, just below, thank God.
Ayo.
Oh, 16. He peers at the horn very, very closely. Do you hand it over, or just for him to examine?
I wait. I show him the same courtesy he showed me. I'll keep it like visible, but still like in a decent grip, out of his arm's reach. Just letting him, like, moving it a bit to allow him to look at it properly, but not let him touch it.
Fascinating. You know, the grooves of a dragon's horn often betray its age. I can tell from this horn that this very well may have been an ancient dragon.
I can tell he's full of shit, can't I?
Yes.
You were there when the dragon was killed.
I know. Well, I know.
But it's an ancient dragon, so it's more valuable than a young dragon horn.
Yeah, I know. I just like the idea that I'm letting him indulge in his own fantasy because it helps me.
I just
Well, you have a
smile
keen
at-
eye.
So what was this dragon called, if I might ask?
Vellum remembers. The player does not. Let me go look it up. Creatures.
I don't even think it had a name.
I think it was
It
called
did.
something, right?
It
was
was the scion of the verdant blight.
Sound of the Verdant Blight. Yes,
It was
I
just
knew it
a-
had a name. I just couldn't
it was
recall
just-
the exact wording.
You didn't hear a name, just a title.
Yeah, the title is good enough as a name because the title is all people really hear.
I think Vellum would also figure this out. Scion is a title like heir, which denotes younger age.
Well, I'll thank you for that. I will work that in. Well,
No, it's more that he'd probably figure an
yeah,
older
he'll
title.
figure it's younger by the title, but I can work with that.
Not necessarily. It means child of a legendary dragon.
Fair enough.
You know, Mortithax was the scion of something.
Well, well, I never heard of the name. Those who returned from its slaying and those in the region who knew of it referred to it as the Scion of the Verdant Blight.
Immediately, his eyes begin to widen, and he seems to recoil from a moment as if recalling something. Verdant blight.
The very same.
Do you mean Verdavang?
I'm gonna sort of leave that. I'm gonna leave a little pause and lean forward.
So, do we have a deal?
You can see he's certainly tempted by the idea of having the horn of the offspring of Verdavang in his grasp. Throw in a bit of gold, or platinum if you so choose, and we have a deal.
Very well. And I am going to throw in. Let me look at my money. He said a bit of gold. I'll throw in 6 gold and a platinum just to make it look a bit more like it's more coinage than there is. Because if I just throw 1 platinum in, that's not going to look impressive. And
You
offer that trade.
kind of slims his eyes. I'm sorry, when I said a bit of gold, I meant a lot.
Do I play hardball? Because I very much can.
Well, what would you consider a lot then? Just so we're on the same page.
Shall we call it 6,000 gold?
Well, time to play hardball.
Well, we have very different definitions of what a little gold might be. Though I did happen to run into a Nioban gentleman further up there. I would recommend some caution with some of your wares, since I doubt you have the Sawishe papers to prove this item of yours' genuinity. And they can be so very temperamental about about what's theirs.
Ooh, make an intimidation check with charisma.
This I'm actually good at. And now I've jinxed myself. Knock on wood.
At 20.
Ah,
Well,
Ooh,
you did jinx yourself.
8. He kind of leans back and folds his arms. 6,000. Your words do not scare me.
walk away.
I do have one last gambit, because I'm not going to get this either way. If I fail, then I don't get it. If I leave now, I don't get it. So I may as well just go for it. I'm gonna sort of like unfold like a portion of my like little jackety clothing thing, and show my little brooch of office as a member of the Mainland Security Council.
Well, my words hold a little bit more weight.
You see him immediately kind of step back, and his demeanor shifts.
Now, I'm a reasonable man. I'm not about to give too much trouble to a businessman like yourself.
Okay, look, we'll call it 1,000 gold. Just be quiet.
I'm just doing. Sorry, I'm not hesitating in character. I'm doing the math in my brain. It takes a second. 100 platinum. Okay, I didn't think so. I died 1 decimal along. That's what it is. Can I insight?
You can.
On how like he's obviously affected, but like he obviously wants me out of here and shushed. But how badly does it want me out of here and shushed? I want to see if I can push it or just take it.
Okay.
20, now I get a high
26. Roll. Yeah, you gather he probably has some very illegal items in his possession that he doesn't want you particularly to look at. And he's trying to get you out of his hair as quickly as possible. Albeit with at least some decent deal here.
Yeah. He's gonna sort of just still composed. He'll fold the little brooch back into his clothing.
50 platinum and I'll forget I was ever here.
Make one more persuasion check with advantage.
I don't like using privilege, but damn, it's effective sometimes.
Is it privilege if it's just bow breathing?
I mean, throwing
like
your weight
brow
around
beat-
to get a
brow
deal is a bit
beating?
much, but you know,
Browbeating.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
it's a
God.
little shady, but damn if it's effective.
not privilege. It's tyranny. It's extortion.
Look, fine. I take the horn. You get the staff. I'll take the 50 platinum.
Then we have a deal. Pleasure doing business with you.
You kind of
And I'll be sure to, if anyone asks, I'll be sure to say I've never heard of you.
And I'll hand over the goods with the sort of in one hand, other hand expectantly kind of deal. Simultaneous trade-off.
kind of looks towards you and looks through the crowds in the distance towards the guards and the Nioban gentleman that you passed earlier. Back to you, and you can see the kind of sweat drop down the side of his head. He kind of hefts the staff from the back of the wall, hands it over towards you, and holds out his hand expectantly.
And, like, in a single fluid motion of taking and giving, over they go. Just the horn with the coinage.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah.
And, yeah, he'll just sort of, the staff will just go shoop into his bag of holding, and off he'll go.
Okay,
Without
so
any pomp and circumstance.
I'm going to drop that in your inventory. I would prefer you don't look. Surprise.
That's fine, I'm just trying to remember where I put the horn so I can delete it. There it is.
Okay.
I feel a little dirty. I hope you all realize that.
I expect you to be.
I just want to say, you flashing that badge right then and there was... I don't want to call it dumb, but it was very brazen.
Mm-hmm.
It was very risky, yes, I
He's
know.
ballsy, yeah.
It was
balls.
the second he said your words don't scare me, I was like, well shit, they're more than just words, buddy boy.
a big
All right,
risk.
I'm
there you
sure
go.
it'll be fine.
You now have an unidentified staff in your inventory.
Perfect.
I thought it was supposed to be a weeb katana. Did y'all lie to me?
No,
We equated it to Japanese katanas for their kitschiness.
Ah, gotcha.
It's essentially a staff with a sort of crescent-y tip.
I'm gonna be real with you here. Even though Janner says it's unidentified, this could just be some common magic hoo-ha item.
You don't know. You never thought to check.
I'm going purely off of what Valum knows, and from his summations, it seems worthwhile, important, and cultural.
It's made out of pure oak, and that's it.
It's fiberglass.
Out of character, we know nothing. In character, we know nothing.
It's made
In
out
character, we think we know things.
It's made of asbestos.
It's made out of compressed.
No, that would
Made
be
out of-
useful. You could just kill somebody with that. Just jam it in their throat.
Made of iron,
It's also-
plated in
it's also-
gold.
It's
No,
also
I mean,
it's also fireproof.
yeah. But that means you're the one holding it. You're the one that's gonna get the cancer.
It's fine. We've
the
got
fucking
like
cancer
greater
time.
restoration now. We can get rid of that.
It's okay. I have healer's kit.
Yeah.
But yes, I did have a couple of other minor things
Gunga
to
has
get, but we
chemo
can
packets in his healer's kit.
we can gloss over that if you'd like, Jen.
Let's
There's
cut
just
it
a
out,
couple of
okay.
other minor things.
Let's see here. You also wanted to sunstroke peppers.
Yeah, we had a brief discussion about that. I
Yeah,
was like, hey, is it cool if I make up a super spicy pepper, the kind of shit that people
Yeah,
use
I mean-
to spicy stuff eat?
So,
Damn, you
so
too.
you can find a lot of weird and wonderful food here in the Gemstone Quarter. Sunstroke peppers would be among them. You can definitely buy
Hooray.
those for like a few copper each.
I'll get like a dozen.
Yeah. Okay.
I find it really fun that 3 people have made something that's made super spicy.
Yep, I remembered your fire salts.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to mix them together at some point. Just destroy everyone's taste buds.
Also, a number of strange gemstones and metals, and one thing that does catch your eye is this green-coloured hunk of stone that almost looks like it sort of glows this sort of greenish bluish colour.
Greenish bluish. It sounds like either. It wouldn't be. Can I identify it with my metallurgy knowledge?
Yes. You've actually seen one of these before in Morthax's lair. This is
okay, it's-
let's see, infused jade.
Ooh.
It is
That's-
fairly common in the Empire of the Celestial Dragon. It's used similarly to how one might use erudite.
I have to ask, how illegal is it?
It seems to be displayed fairly openly, so you gather not very.
Okay, so it
illegal.
seems all good.
It's just a shot you're waiting. Don't worry.
How much is it? Just to
Let's
save time.
see. This would be about 400 gold per pound.
Sure, why not? I'm gonna add a bit more money than I thought I would.
All right.
I can just do minus an
Wait, hang
amount
on,
in my money and just have it take that off, right?
Actually, hang on. I've got the actual price here. I don't know if I can make it up.
Oh.
My bad. So no, sorry. That would be
It's twice as much.
No. that would be 7 gold per pound. No,
That's
Wait.
so much less.
no, wait. That's 0.1, not 1.
70 silver.
There'll be
2 copper.
That'll be 70 gold.
70 gold. Okay.
Yeah, 70 gold per
7.
pound.
But yeah, if I do minus and a number into my money, it just takes that amount off, right?
Yep.
So
It
how
should
much was
do.
it again? Sorry.
70 gold.
So 7 platinum.
Weird,
There we
that
go.
didn't do
He's
it for
learning.
me.
I'm learning, guys. Yeah, very productive so far. And besides looking around for like rare metals, I think I'm good. Yeah, that's pretty much my shopping list. I did want to ask around about star metal, but that can be. I don't know if you want to do that in the background or like just have a roll.
I mean,
'Cause I have eaten up quite a bit of time.
not many people here know of star metal. Best you can
Well,
tell.
I phrased it more like stories of something falling from the sky, or asking merchants like, "Hey, have you come across something somebody said fell from the sky or something?"
You do hear the occasional story of things falling from the heavens, and like described almost like falling stars.
Nothing tangible though, mostly hearsay.
Yeah, mostly.
That's fair. Alrighty, well, I think that's my shopping list done. I'm gonna take off like 2 silver for the peppers. Does that sound good, Jenny?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And that's me all done for the moment. And then Vellum's gonna head off to meet up with everyone else.
Okay.
Albeit late.
All right. So, let's see. Angus, finishing up your training with Tora.
By the way, I am gonna go ahead and do a little earring message and be like, "Oh, I'm a little late with the royal affair."
I'm a little late with a mercantile affair.
Fuck all of you.
Look, I ran into some problematic people in the market, so I took a bit long.
The sign is not real.
That's a hell of a fucking comeback. You all suck, you're late. The sun isn't real. Never change, Capo.
Slough
Try.
would likely be arriving to where, they agreed to meet up by now.
So that'll be
We'll do her
slightly
merchant
late.
business later.
so that'll be in the Golden Lodge or the Hunter's Keep, or where are you meeting up?
I think we were originally going to meet in the Golden Lodge, but Liska did offer, like, hey, like, I think over the earrings, she was just like, hey, y'all can chill in the Hunter's Keep if you want to, since y'all do belong in it, so,
Yeah.
have that.
I think the Hunter Keep would be better.
Yeah, we ain't fancy folk.
All
Are you
right.
saying Hunter's Keep is not fancy enough for you?
It is just fine.
It's fancy. It's fancy.
Okay. So as you finish up with Tora, she bids you farewell, Angus. Thanks you for your company, and he just kind of continues wandering through the city. Probably thankful to just get out of the palace.
Feel like a person
Yeah.
again.
And at some point, fast forward, you'll meet in the keep.
Well, that was a productive day. How'd everyone else go?
I was already there
pretty
drinking
good.
with Liska.
The yard just comes in. That was eventful.
Eventful is a way to describe today.
Well, the day's not over because we were going to go to the... Like, that's why I was saying we should meet up, like, just after noon. So we can go to the forge and y'all could break this down. She pulls out the scimitar of speed and puts it on this, and she, like, pulls out her glaive. Because,
Right.
again, we came here, like, early morning, and we've only
Yeah.
been here, like, a few hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, sorry I took up a good bit of time working on your armor.
I mean, that's fine. Like, I don't mind. He seems very capable. He was the one that taught you how to do stuff, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. But there's a little something special I might add to it. That's all.
Oh,
And
okay.
it took a bit more time than I would have thought.
That is A-okay. As long as it does not
I-
explode in my face, I am fine.
No, it should be very useful.
I had to rectify a few things. It's all taken care of.
Oh, Deja, I would steer clear of the Gemstone Bazaar.
It was
There's a Nioban gent there handing out flyers, and he is not afraid to show off his emblem. If you catch my meaning.
You can't just wait for a second. That emblem?
Yep.
I see. Unfortunate. I was just there, but I was
Playing,
Lucky.
behind the scenes.
playing Heisenberg.
Talking to drug dealers.
Alright, for those who don't know, or if you know anything about the situation with Niobe, there was somebody handing out what can I only refer as propaganda about Epster, probably. And he had some black hand guards with him, so probably a good idea to avoid them folk. Just completely.
Okay. Well, I wasn't planning on interacting with any guards while I was here, so duly noted.
Yeah, I'd rather say than assume.
Aye, that's concerning. I had some talks with Princess Tora as well.
Oh, how is she?
Right pissed.
Oh, so
Well,
Not
it went
too
that poorly,
happy.
huh?
Oh no, our visit was great, but, you know, trouble in the family. Trying to be cooped up.
That lipstick.
Generally not doing well. So, that's it all.
Oh no way, it's just hot sauce.
Anyway. Sorry.
That
It took me a
sounds
bit.
sort
I
of
had
takes.
to deal with
sounds sort of-
something.
Sarah takes a sip of her drink as she listens to Angus describe how Tora is feeling, and then she just lowers the mug slightly. That sounds familiar. And it just
Gee, why's that?
nothing. Just that I understand where she's coming from.
Well, hopefully things aren't too rough for her here. Seems like there's been a lot of changes going on. Can't say I like all of them.
Yeah, there's been a lot of things happening. The king seems to be making a lot of unpopular decisions.
Dishes.
Sorry, I'm still a little hungover.
It's fine. It's just funny. It's like all dwarves want a hand in cooking.
Liska's been drinking already.
And particularly with those around the Hunter's Keep, for some reason we're under investigation for something. I don't specifically remember why, but it comes from out of nowhere, and it's been kind of killing a lot of deals. We still have some here or there, but yeah, it is peculiar.
Yeah,
Easy.
I've heard of some of that from my contacts in the Mage Guild. The thing with Croesus has been not handled since the Hunter's Keep's been buried in paperwork. Ugh.
What did Tora have to say about all this business? Anything useful?
You can pretty much be summarised that she's not too pleased with the order her dad's making, and she's been sort of cooped up for her safety inside the royal quarter.
From someone like her, I can see why she would not like that.
Oh, I don't really understand the point of trying to keep her safe. Maybe because the High Priestess recently died in her sleep and they're concerned it was assassination. Or rather, Perdaw is concerned it was assassination from the handyman. Along with the fact, my friend Brasheim, captain of the guard, over a decade serving here and dismissed for insubordination. So, a lot of folks are finding information out now in response to a coup attempt. Cliffspire, the handymen, they're trying to really crack down. So,
Okay. That on the handyman, that's seems fairly odd. For a number of reasons.
Well, everything about this whole
why so?
situation is odd. Let's just hope it's
I
her
don't-
dad being paranoid and not something more malicious.
I did ask a wee bit, what about that lad in the mask and things, because I understand the crown can weigh heavy, you know, you got the Corthan folk coming in to give their aid, and now there's more human folk around here. They like to sort of sneak in a little bit and put down the town and then just stay. And that can be a concern, and then there was some things that happened in the capital, but I want to understand, but it doesn't add up. Dejar, what are you saying?
Well, I've done my own digging onto the handyman, and it is... I don't think there's any handyman activity here. More so on the Cawthon side, the ranges mountains past the Commonwealth realms, and, well, the trail leading through the Moorbog. There's too much going on. I don't think it's any here. I think that's hearsay.
Well,
Because
there is one big, like, I'm surprised I'm the one that is pointing it out. Like, when the Jar first, like, met us in the Moorbog, like, there was a moment where we sat in a zone of truth, and we asked her questions, and she said that something happened to the king, and it might not be the king that is making these decisions. And the Black Hand is involved, and there is a coup in Cliffspire, and we see it surrounded by Black Hand mercenaries who are taking people into carriages. Here, they're suddenly dismissing the Iron Guard and Mountain Guard, and Black Hand mercenaries are everywhere. Like, I feel like this is a pretty obvious thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't want to think about it.
the more
I'm
you want
not
to...
too keen on this. What do you mean when something happened to the king before? Like, what?
I mean, you were there in the zone of truth. Dejar showed
I
us
know.
like a vision. She showed us her memories.
Just a little bit of refresher. Mind flares? I think they have something to do with it.
Not too familiar with him.
We fucking
Sao
read
sort
a
of
lot.
snaps her fingers and then looks to Liska. Do you remember the little critter thing we found down below when we were rescuing the princess? The one in the cage, the little pinkish sponge with the legs.
Oh, like the little dog brain thing. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You can do like weird things. Couldn't it like... I don't remember what it could do. Were we told what it can do? Sorry, yeah, player, I don't remember if we were told what
I don't think.
Intellect of Ours did.
I don't
But I
think,
know that there was a point in time where Liska was alone in a room because she teleported like Liska do, and she got like assaulted by a couple of them, but she managed to roll high enough to
Yeah.
resist, and then she teleported away.
I was incredibly
would-
lucky.
Yeah, would she put like 2 and 2 together that like it was a mind affecting thing? I mean, fuck, everything with mind flayers is mind affecting.
in the name.
I mean, you can make an
Intelligence check.
yeah, just like an intelligence or arcana check. It's not going to be like a high DC because mind flayers, mind stuff.
Yeah,
Who
I mean
knows?
they're both the same, so I'm just gonna do an arcana check. Oh, nat 20. Oh shit! Look at let's
It's
go.
certainly been a day for roll.
Well,
You know, now that I think about this,
It all
I
makes
felt like
sense.
now that I think about it, I think I remember those tiny little brain-legged things. I felt like it was trying to invade my mind with the sole purpose of trying to take over my body. But no, I like whatever information you wanna you feel
I
that's
mean,
worth getting.
it would make sense that you heard them called intellect devourers. Seemingly, they were being crafted by these mind flayer creatures. The fact that they're shaped like brains would imply heavily that there is some sort of mind invasive behavior that goes alongside with them.
Oh wait, didn't we also? Sorry, I'm just trying to think. Didn't we also come into contact with someone who had been taken over by an intellect devourer?
I don't think so.
No, you saw a skull that had a hole in it.
Well, that was
Well, yeah,
when we
this-
were first going down. But I feel like after the fact, didn't we? Wasn't there a supposed good guy? Maybe I might be getting different campaigns
hang
mixed
on,
up because
hang
there's
on.
another. Because I've dealt with it.
All I remember is
I
the
don't-
dude
I don't-
missing his brain
I don't-
and a hole in his skull.
Drunk a whole soft the skull with the hole in it.
Anyway,
Which one?
hold on, I've been messaged.
I don't know why I've
I don't
got
know.
pounded.
Regardless, I think. But yeah, Liska will at least say like, yeah, it was. Like I felt like it was. It's called an intellect devourer. I heard them say that, the mind flayers, and like I felt like it was trying to, like when I was teleporting all around and y'all were like,
Specifically-
oh, where's Liska?
Yes.
Specifically, you heard Aja say those words, intellect devourer, because I do remember Aja doing an arcana, or I think it was either arcana or history check on these intellect devourers to figure out what they were.
Grunka brings out like a metal carrier cage.
And it's the intellect devourer.
No,
It's like I've been keeping it all this time.
no idea. It used to be in here.
The fried
Little-
carcass of an intellect devourer.
Oh, it used to be. Grunka's been an intellect devourer this whole time.
Oh no!
It's a little goofy in here.
Can't be an intellect devourer without intellect.
Oh,
Brain small, the dodges.
Brain
Okay.
is not
It
useful.
stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like it was trying to, like, invade my mind. Like, and it kept assaulting me. Like, you know how when we fought those mind flayers and they did that thing where they go like boom, and then everyone just kind of blinks for a few seconds because you're stunned.
Mhm.
It was like that, but targeted. Like it was trying to break down. And she looks at Dajar. She's like, you know those barriers that you helped me learn about, like
Yes.
in my mind. It's like it was trying to break those down and get what's inside.
Ooh. Yeah, that's definitely not good. Ooh.
Deshar,
Sao then, at the revelation of all this, Sao sort of then turns to the Shar and then looks to Angus. That might be something.
At the mention about mind flayers and stuff, she takes out within one of her bags a dagger. The one that she got from Hammerstone.
Oh, your fancy new dagger.
Yep.
Oh. Grunka's looking
And it's-
through his bag of holding.
And it's glowing like with blue light. I got this along with a bounty. If it were a job to kill the carcass of Croesus or whatever of my past employers brought him back. I have information that there's been sightings of him around the Gulf of Tektahos.
Actuin Gulf.
Actuin Gulf. There we go.
And where is that?
That is... The Actuin Gulf is just a... Think of it like a big crater filled with the seawater that ports go to for Tektahos.
Oh.
I feel like as soon as we leave here, it'll be a point of no return since we'll be heading to war. But rather let you know that now than you run into him.
Star just sort of blinks a little at the mention of war and then just slow
Are you-
turns to the Shar.
What's... Can you explain on that?
The original idea was I looked up the operations and the whereabouts of the handyman. In my hubris, I was much too quick because I could have been lied to from some of my sources. It's been a while since I've been in Tanzia. And it could very much be a trap. The idea was to go find Siren's body, if he was dead or still alive, and disrupt the handyman's operation there in Tektahos. But upon much reflection and dealing with Mordathax and her production of erudite potions, we might be heading into a trap. Because, think about it. If there's a war, you have all your enemies in a single place, fighting for their lives. You are undisturbed, and you go about your business unhindered. And you can send assassins to kill them in the biggest chaos, a war.
Jar, can I be blunt here a second?
Go for it.
There is a lot of supposition there, and I don't want to be dealing with anything besides the immediate issues in front of us, like getting through a dinosaur-ridden landscape, or
I mean,
having to kill some dragonborn out there that escaped, or just dealing with a literal death god. There is so much we need to be doing before we even think about Tektahos.
well, here's the thing though. Regardless if you don't want to think about it or not, we'll be heading straight into it. Would you rather go in there blind and ignorant and someone stabs you in the back? Or know full well what you're going into and perhaps avoid getting stabbed in the back?
I'm not saying we should be ignorant, but we don't have as much information as we would like. So on the road, we ask
agree.
around in some of the settlements or whatever. But right now, we're going off of things we think are happening in a place we haven't been to yet. That's honestly months away from us even being close to being able to act on anything.
I mean, it is
Misery.
good to know that we will be going into a country that might be at war, because our presence might suddenly not be as welcome. So, it
And there
is
may
good
be
to aware of
no
that.
tournament to go there to as well. if things
Yes.
start getting real bad, I don't think they're going to take their best fighters and say, tire yourselves out and injure yourselves for entertainment and sport. Or those best fighters might be like us and just travelers, not want to get caught up in a war, not loyal to the place they're in, and say goodbye, not go.
Have we talked to... I only met her,
Varesh
like...
Vesman?
Sure, I only met her, like, once.
Damn
Like,
it.
See, look, technically, I met her husband once. I only met her that one time too.
Well, Dejar and I have been in contact with her, just keeping her updated on where we are, the fact that we survived the Borbog. And
Hey, that's a good
yeah.
thing to do.
well, I meant more that, like, she's waiting for us in Tech Tahoe's, right? And isn't that also where she is from? I feel like she would probably have a better understanding of what's going on. And she probably has, given her nature, the nature of her business, she probably has some understanding of if there's untoward influences.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Dejar. We've given her basically what we know, and we couldn't really follow up on anything at the time because, Moabog.
Yes, and I knew Dejar was meant to do something, do the sending in the morning, and she forgot because there was other things in her mind.
I inked Lowiz.
We've had her pretty busy.
Sal
But
just sort of
now that-
mulls for a bit and just sort of almost blurts out a thought, and you can tell this is more of a thought than anything concrete. If all the other teams forfeit, do we win by default?
I
That'd be
feel like
lovely, but I think it's more of a consolation.
if they all give up, then the tournament is just called off. I don't think there is a winner or a loser at that point in time.
There could be a lot
Yeah,
of
you're
foul play
probably
that
right.
cause that kind of thing. Plus,
Most
winning by
likely
default's
don't.
never satisfying.
No, but the pay is.
Well, either way, now we're back on the road and things are more boggy. I figure we can probably pick her brain for more things. I'm
Yeah.
doing lunch with her when we get there, so I'll probably ask her more questions when we arrive. If there's
I
anything
think it
else
might
that
be
comes up.
smart to even continue to reach out to her and ask her questions before we arrive. See, hey, is it even still going on? Because, since war and whatnot may be happening. Also, there's something we need to consider. Right? I know things are really weird right now, and I'm skeptical, but I have to be careful. If these Black Hand folks are going there, but everything they're doing is becoming sanctioned by the king, right? And if the king is employing them, and they have the official right for law and force, it could be seen as it is a military branch at this point of Malin invading Tactohos. And we're Malin's Defense Council going there. They might see us as enemy agents.
For once, I actually thought and realized that same issue. When Dejar and I contacted her, we made mention that those involved may not be having Malin's best interests at heart. I forget my actual wording, but basically,
No doubt.
I'm trusting her to use whatever contacts she has to do a bit of digging and make Malin a little less responsible for actions it obviously doesn't intend.
I don't know if that's the case, because if all the Iron Guard, the captain of the guard has been replaced, and they're putting in someone from the Black Hand.
That high up,
I don't know. Thurdrum Brasheim was a great man. And now he's out. I don't know who, but someone from them is getting appointed.
I mean, it sounds
The
more and
king's
more
orders.
like he's just a puppet king at this point in time. He's obviously being
He's-
controlled.
Aye. He seems very odd. There's questions abound from me, from Dora, and some other folks. But at the same time, what if he's perhaps being socially controlled? What if he's desperate? You know, he was almost kidnapped, assassinated, and his daughter was gone for a while. Now he's overbearing and protecting her so she doesn't get kidnapped again. And the Carthans are here, and they love to try and do persuasive tactics. And here's somebody not the Carthans to lean on. I'm not saying everything's going on is right. I'd say far from. But
Why dismiss
You
the
should be-
guard, though?
I was thinking the
don't
same
know.
thing. If it's a matter of being overcautious, why would you replace the people you've grown to know the capabilities of and trust with essentially hired swords?
Yeah, people you can notoriously not trust.
I don't know, and it doesn't add up.
I mean, it does. It adds up to he's being controlled.
It doesn't make sense. Aye, you're right. I'm just trying... I'm trying to be careful, because what if it isn't some magic spell or something? What if he's just become
A bad king.
incompetent? Aye. But a bad king making poor decisions that isn't magically controlled is still the king. And
I mean,
it is
so
a-
is one being magically controlled. Like,
Aye,
it's
but there's a difference between magic saying do this and just poor decisions.
paranoia and madness controlling him instead. Like, I think.
I'm not saying that's a
from-
good thing either. I'm just saying we have to be careful, because if we're wrong, you hang.
I mean, if you might.
Right. And my family.
He would. So, you would want to stick by a
I'm
king
from
that
the
would hang
rope.
your entire family for because you did
No,
something?
that's. Turn the speech. Treason is a bad thing. And for dwarf culture, if you're treasonous and you're stricken, it reflects very badly on your clan. You shame them. So I just
There
have
is-
to be careful. We should
there
be
is
careful
more.
and consider everything, because if we're wrong, even if we aren't, how will people perceive it?
Sao
We have
raises
to-
the finger.
Go on.
Slight sidetrack to that. Deshar, do you think the Aureus Tower have material on aberrant creatures?
I know someone that
The
might.
unusual.
I know someone that might.
We might have some here. Let's get motions around the Hunter's Group.
I'm aware of hunting them, but I want specifically knowledge about to check if someone is under the influence of something like this.
I can
mean,
talk.
Yeah, we still probably have that here. Like, if you have to hunt something down that can take over people, you have to be able to find out if someone's being taken over.
Well, there's no reason we can't use all the resources at our disposal.
I was actually getting to that. Deshar could go check the Augure's Tower first, while we check here. If there is a way to check for something like this, we could probably voice it to the king. Or
No, why would we voice
No,
it to the
that
king?
would. That
I
would be defeating the
just
purpose.
caught myself in that manner of speech, yes. We could voice it to someone like the princess then.
On that note, all this talk about controlled royalty
Angus, do you think she's gonna be all right? Now, I'm not assuming we should just like take her away from it or anything. That would be even worse. But how long until we come back next time and she's in a similar sort of state as her dad?
Oh,
Is there anything that we can maybe do to safeguard her while she's here, or some sort of? Maybe we'd need more information, like Sal said, but that's kind of my concern at the moment. She's one of the few sane people here, at least in a position of power.
I don't know. I don't know enough. Because... Moira, I don't understand enough to be able to give you a definitive day or anything. I can't even say for sure that something's happened to the king outside or if he's going mad.
So I guess
He
our
kind of
first step
pauses and thinks
is
for a moment.
thinking.
Yes.
Our first step is
Yes.
information gathering. Then
The
Sal
cat
sort
speaks
of
up.
raises a brow and looks to Angus with sort of narrowed eyes. What are you thinking?
Hold on. And he's gonna flip over his shield, where he's got the lists of ancestor names and everything, and the little history and all these things, as he recalls his memory and the things. You know, this is a lot like behavior when Nogdor Ashbite first rose to power. He took it by force, but he wasn't originally so terrible. Started very similar with things like this, and then it escalated. Something had happened. I wonder... Tora said she had the hammer, and that they tried destroying it, they tried removing curses off of it, they tried things and nothing worked. I wonder if maybe he's been near some terrible artifact that's doing something to him. I mean, you've mentioned the mind things.
Mind
I
flayers.
don't... There you go. I don't know them. So I'm just trying to think of what I know, and I'm not going to rule that out. And maybe I just don't want to believe something's happened to the king and he can still be saved. But regardless the reason, the result is that history may be starting to repeat itself in a very familiar way. I just fear the outcome might be different this time, and not for the better.
Janet,
Because
Janet, what
hold-
was the name? What was the name of the guy who had his entire face turned into an eyeball when we were down there?
Oh, Tharadol Ashbite.
Tharadol.
Supposedly
Yeah.
a direct descendant of Nogdor Ashbite.
Sal will just sort of look to the rest of the party for a moment and then ending her look at Angus. You know, there might be some merit to that idea. We did fight.
It makes you see that.
We did fight someone while we were rescuing the princess, namely in the tower where she was kept. Someone who claimed themselves to be a direct descendant of, as she motions to him, because my brain just sort of short circuits to the one you just mentioned.
Doctor?
And yes, and he was very much under the influence of these mind flayers. If history is repeating itself, Well,
What was the last thing?
If history is repeating itself. Yara has is thinking and turns to Angus. Look, I know my words may have some weight. My memories may hold a little bit more. But you know of Reinvolt Hammerstone, correct?
Hammerstone?
Yes.
Oh, I believe I do.
Okay. I would like you to accompany me to August Tower and meet Reinvolt Hammerstone so we can discuss ways to carry out the possibilities. His words hold much more weight than mine.
Out of character, Hammerstone is the guy that was in the tower that you originally talked to, right?
Yes.
Yes. Archmage.
Knows of him.
Okay.
Yeah, he knows of him. He hasn't met him. Does not know. I'll say that in character. I've heard of the lad. I haven't met him personally, but I know, you know, Archmage type sort, important lad.
He's usually the one that, when I met him here a few times, met with the king, he says, on meetings. Discuss things. So if you have any concerns about the king, you might talk, be able to talk to him about it.
Okay. We can definitely do that. Getting more information is important. Especially if we're going to be going into a place that's gonna be at war. I have a strong feeling that we are aligned right now with the Defense Council, with a country who sponsored mercenaries are going to another nation. Even if it's not a direct, oh, you know, official banner of the army with them, if you should consider that, well, somebody just got appointed that is in charge of all of the defense and all of the military of the capital of the city is with that group. And that group has the authority of them, of the crown. How will another nation see it? Another nation might look at it and say, oh, they're just using the mercenary group to try and cover their trails. That's a basic tactic. It's obvious they're just going to war. So we might want to heavily consider that they'll see us that way. And whether we want to keep going there, we want to wait for things to be done, see what happens. Because how this affects us directly, it's going to have a big impact.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna take into account what you're saying. It's completely true. However, going there and not going there, we're still gonna catch a lot of flack, regardless. I personally, and any one of you can disagree, I don't care, To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. As basically just not wanting to do anything and wait. That can cause more trouble than acting. But I can see the point of gathering information before acting. But doing nothing at all? That don't make sense.
For the immediate future, we have a plan. So, Tajar, you and Angus head to the tower, speak with this contact of yours. And Sal and Liska can probably check out the Hunter's Keep for any information about these things. And later on tonight, Tajar, you and I can talk to Razman, get more information from her side of the bond. Does that sound good to everyone?
I suppose that works.
At what point in time are we doing the crafting thing?
We need to do the thing for
Yes.
Liska.
Right, yeah. Sorry,
At the
just
game?
struggling a little to keep up sometimes, that's all. He sort of
That's fine.
rubs his eyes a little bit.
I was about to say we should probably lay a plan for the day instead of just going directly into research. We did promise Liska first.
That we did. That's the priority here at the moment. Afterwards, we can do whatever we have time for.
Plus, it would give us time to put in word here at the keep. Get people who know stuff here. Books, people, stories. While we do the crafting, and everything would be ready by the time we get back.
Oh, before I forget, something I seem to be doing a lot of lately. Sarah, do you think you could take a quick look for Summit for me whenever you get a chance?
Sal just sort of raises an eyebrow.
And reaching into his bag of holding. It's like, you know the Mary Poppins scene with the lamp? It's just the staff pulls the staff out of it. Carefully hands it over to her.
Sal just sort of takes it and holds it for a moment and just be like, do we have a minute?
I'd say we got quite a few.
Cool.
You have a pearl?
One moment. And yeah.
Probably got some artificer nonsense that means she doesn't need one.
Alright, so you're gonna
you don't know half the shit I got.
Identify on this unidentified staff.
Yeah.
Alright. There you go.
Well now. I don't really
Should be in your
copy
weapons.
paste I think. Yeah, I see it. I'm reading it, but like I was just gonna try and paste it to the chat, but the blurb is so long. Maybe I can open it. And... Yeah, there we
Can't
go.
you also hit the text box?
Yeah, I can click
by
it
the
and then
item
it'll.
Yeah, put in the party chat.
Yeah, because
the
once I
game
was
chat.
identified, she'd likely mention it to the party. Because Vellum didn't say anything about this being secrety.
Nope.
Jesus Christ.
This is a solar staff.
Oh
Christ.
shit!
But is attuned by a cleric, druid, sorcerer, or wizard.
Oh no, not more sun shit.
More sun shit.
So, 10 charges. You can use an action to expend some of its charges to do a sunbeam spell for 4 charges, or daylight for two charges. Although with the staff, you can use an action to expend one of its charges to cause the orb to glow with purifying brilliance until the start of your next turn. Any hostile creature that enters the orb's bright light for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must succeed on a Constitution saving throw against your spell DC or take take 3d6 radiant damage. Undead creatures have disadvantage on the saving throw.
Angus's eyes kind of go wide.
Very nice.
Oh, that's powerful. Did you say sunbeam?
So I just sort of nods slowly and just sort of holds it like,
That's one of the most powerful spells I can do right now. It requires intense concentration. In fact, I used it with Mortathax. And it is so fatiguing that I can only do it once. Yeah,
You mean
if you were to think in a capacity of scrolls, it would be like a tier 6.
Sal just slowly looks up.
Revivify is like 3.
Sal looks up slowly towards Willem, and there's a look in her eye that is telling him, even before the words leave her mouth, Willem, how much did you pay for this, and what did you do?
Not as much as you'd think, surprising.
She doesn't believe you. At all.
Well, I did have to trade a bit of dragon in for it, but it seemed, I don't know, there was something to it that just, it was my instinct. I followed it and worked my mercantile wiles and managed to get this for a decent amount.
Oh, you know
And
what?
what is a decent amount?
1 dragon horn and 50 platinum pieces.
It sounds like this is a really good
Excuse-
deal.
Excuse me. The jar just stops for a moment before she was about to say anything
Excuse
else.
the fuck out of the jar.
I heard what?
Green dragon horn and 50 platinum pieces.
Bullshit. Respectfully, bullshit.
You do remember I'm a merchant, right? I know all the tricks.
I know that. Still, I call bullshit.
Sal just slow turning to Angus with a look of disbelief in her eyes. It's just, do you believe this?
Believed. The jar just goes over
I
to
do.
Willem. How?
Well, what's more likely, that the merchant did mercantile things and got a good deal, or that I stole it?
I'm more
Doing
surprised you
both?
even found something like this.
Because
Well, like I said,
That-
it was instinct.
it's,
Caught my eye, and the second I saw it, I just knew something was about it.
the jar goes to Sal. Can you look over this dagger for me? I know what it does, but I want you to know what it does. I trust you anyway.
And the dick measuring contest begins.
Oh no!
No, my
no.
legendary item is more powerful. Sorry,
Nope,
continue.
nope. She's not just. He just knows about the sun staff. He's like, I'm ignoring all this. This is tired bullshit.
Does Jar have identify at the ready?
The jar
Or
does not. He does not have identify authority. So, can you?
I do.
Oh, okay.
actually, yeah.
Because-
Let Angus do this one.
And
Right.
he hands Angus the blue glowing dagger.
Just passing around incredibly powerful magical object.
Yeah.
Grunka glares at the staff.
Sa just looks to Grunker with a short moment. Don't worry, it won't shine anything at you unless somebody is attuned to it.
So,
There
quick
you
question,
go.
confirmation. Where are we?
You are in the Hunter's Keep. In the
I thought we were meeting back
no.
somewhere else. Alright.
We had a brief discussion about whether it was here or the Golden Lodge, and we're like, Hunter's Keep is nice. Let's go there.
Alright. Thanks for the guest, pal.
I mean, this gives
Got a
the-
little guest name.
Yeah. This
Well, I
gives
mean, I really, like, I assumed, like, I really just offered it to them. Like, I assumed you were going to sleep in a place that was, you know, all noble and fancy and stuff. But if you want to sleep here, that's fine.
I was thinking about staying there, and to be honest, it might be best if I do, because that will let me get my own insights.
There you go. Just
Sounds
be
good.
careful.
Alright, so there's the Laystone Siphoner. You now know what it does, Angus.
Hey, will somebody like me, or you, or a few others would be able to use this, and when you do the same spell, that banishment that that I did to the Solari, creatures, aberrations, celestials, elementals, some of the fays, and even devils must really try, and any attempt they make, any force of will is lessened to stay. A similar thing for when you try and remove someone else's magic or stop them from casting. It has a similar effect. It in fact enhances. This is concerning for those same creatures. If you stab a corpse, it's been, say, 10 or so minutes, you can siphon out and suck away the energy that's managed to bypass the filament. And if you can force your will to be higher than theirs, your presence of self, then it's just sucked into the blade. The only thing that will be left is, well, the lace back. Seems you can't use it from sunrise to sunrise. You get once.
The one shot.
Well, per sunrise, but you know what I mean.
Master Hammerstone trusts me a lot.
It's also worth noting that for those creatures I mentioned before, this is hot knife through butter. It just it will sink into them like nothing's there, and it will inflict horrendous pain and damage.
Good to know. Definitely good to know.
That is mildly terrifying.
You just see Dishar
Yeah, not for
just slow turn, look to Sal with a small smile on your face. And I know poisons.
Liska,
Mm-hmm.
is there a fishing rod here?
Is it a fishing rod?
Yeah.
Probably not, but I mean, you can buy one in this place. I'm sure there's probably, they make everything here.
Okay, Gruga's gonna go and buy a fishing rod.
Okay. Fishing rod price 5e.
I mean, really, it's just a stick and a string. But,
Yeah. I mean, you can probably buy one for like 1 gold.
Okay.
Tackle
Slight
sets of
problem.
gold comes with a rod,
Mhm.
lion,
Slight
spiders,
problem.
light.
Yeah.
I literally only have platinum and silver.
Oh no.
Do you have change
Well-
for platinum?
We'll buy a
Or if you
slightly,
have 10 gold or 10.
like, I feel like a gold fishing rod's probably top of the line. So, like,
Mhm.
yeah, buy like mid tier with like a few silver.
Yeah, but I like a really good one.
All right.
The one
You
break.
can get the entire fishing tackle that has the wood rod, silk line, bobbers, steel hooks, lead sneakers, velvet lures, and small nettings too. So it's a net and all the rods and bobbers, everything, 1 gold.
Oh, there you go then.
So the top of
Wow.
the line is a gold with everything with it.
Oh, I just need the extra fishing rod iron and anything else.
Okay, we just say like 5 silver.
Okay.
So you want to buy a staff?
And,
Oh, hey, we have one.
and the line.
Turns it into a fishing rod.
I
Okay.
don't need anything else. I'm just gonna
Alright.
assume we just go back to the Hunter's Keep.
Okay.
So either before he leaves or, well, hell, when he comes back. Because is it going to be long, you think? Because
Nah,
Angus had one thing to contribute with the conversation.
probably not.
Alright, so while everybody is there, one of the things he's going to bring up is, I think we should stay here longer than just the one day. Sort of see what's going on here, gather some information, figure what's going on so we can have the fullest and the clearest picture we can as we move forward and decide what we do. I don't want to rush into something recklessly. And I don't want to stay back from something that I should act in, but you know how these things are. I feel we need more information.
I do agree, much as I don't like sticking around here too long. We do need more information. How does everyone else feel about staying just one more day?
Okay.
I wasn't thinking just one. I was thinking we sort of suss things out for quite a while.
Well, how much is
couple
quite a
weeks.
while? Weeks.
I was thinking that we gain everything we can. We can try and figure it out, ask people what's going on, double check that, confirm with who, however long it takes for messages to come through. See what is the official stance, because I am very concerned, and I just want to be able to go into things with complete certainty, so no matter what happens, I don't have regrets.
Well,
When you say go into things, what do you mean? Like go into Tektahos or what?
A nation at war that might be sanctioned by my kingdom. That's why I want to stay, figure things out. Of which I and we represent.
So that didn't answer my question. So when you say go into things, what do you mean? Like
Going into
what is on the other
Tektahos.
side? Okay, so going into Tektahos, you want to see if if Mayland is going to war, or like what would the information we would get staying a week or two change when we get to Tektahos?
I'm afraid I don't quite understand that. Can you rephrase that for me?
So what information can you get staying a week or two that would change us going to Tektahos or entering the Tahosian dynasty? Are you saying that you might find information that would make you not come with us into the Tahosian dynasty?
The dynasty and getting the tablet, I think, is a very different thing than if we're going into the capital to try and compete in a tournament that may not be there because it's under siege.
Yeah, we can figure that out through a message in about 30 seconds, whether it's, still going on or not. But what other information do you need? Sorry, I'm just curious, there's been a whole lot of talking, a lot of hemming and hawing. If you find... Okay, question. If you find out that the king is being controlled by mind flayers, that he's no longer the king that you knew and loved, what happens?
I don't know.
See? There's only so much we can do here. Even with knowledge that we might glean from it, there's a whole lot that we need to do elsewhere. I'm I'm fine with us preparing and being very aware that we will be going into a place that will probably would probably be going into a war. We don't have to fight another side. I am all for defending ourselves as needed. I think she kind of looks to Veresmond can probably set something up that's just like, oh hey, these guys, like, we don't have to. And she like digs down into, yeah, she's not wearing any armor right now. She like kind of pulls out on the necklace, like, calm down, killer. And pulls out the symbol or whatever the fuck of the defensive council. It's like, this can very easily go into a bag of holding and no one would know what it is. Like, before anything else, we were honorary members of the defense council. Cool. But before that, I am a legionnaire of Ragnarok. I am also the Grand Hunters of the Hunter's Keep. And those are, have influence across many countries. And tied not necessarily to one. Vellum is a very well-known, he's making a name for himself being a blacksmith. And he is a merchant. Like, he's probably good to go. I feel like Sal, not many people know about Sal. And I feel like Sal kind of likes to keep it that way. Granka is Granka. And that is good for most anybody.
Hello.
Yep, see? Doesn't believe the sun is real, but still a good guy.
Liska,
Yes.
is there a big bathtub here?
Yes, there is. Well, it depends on bathtub. Do you mean like,
Well, I mean,
is there
just
like a pool or something?
big body of water, like 10 feet cube, 10 feet in cubes.
Does this have 10 feet in cubes?
I mean, it's not incorrect, but I love that it's phrased that way.
10 feet in cubes.
In cubes.
There's this question before I answer this. Does this have to do with that fishing rod you bought?
Maybe.
Long answer, yes. Short answer, no.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my friend. But there's probably someplace you can use that rod. Else, like, you know what? And let's go like, can I get a map? She's gonna call out. And she's gonna take a few minutes after someone fetches her a map of being like,
Right, okay, hang on.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Well done, Alfred. And
Alfred, map me.
Hey, John.
map me, Alfred.
Hang on, here we go. I got you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, that's probably right there. And it's a quick out of character question. Has it kind of gotten into spring yet? Or
It's going into winter actually.
going into man, I thought we would.
It's like November at the moment, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
It's getting into very early November.
When we left here,
It's essentially November
there
2nd.
was. When did we leave here last?
It
Oh
was like
god.
late spring, wasn't it?
5
Yeah.
months ago.
Yeah.
That would
It's
been
been a
in
while.
It was just
Okay.
especially cold at the time because there was an ice dragon.
I guess so. There's probably like that lake. where
Last
you can
time we
go
were here
to-
was on Jin.
Yeah, I don't know. July, sure. Yeah, so there's probably like it's one of the lakes. They'll probably be somewhat frozen over, and you might have to, dig into the ice to fish beneath it. But I mean, that is fine. I'm sure we can have like a little thing. I'm not against staying one more day, but Anyway,
I think there's a
kinda
compromise.
I do kind of agree with Liska here. A whole week is a bit of a long time. A few days seems more manageable.
I think there's a compromise here that can make everyone feel a little bit better.
We don't exactly have to be the ones digging around for this information. There's trustworthy people here that we can look to, and while we're on our journey, we can keep in touch with them. And on top of that, if we did stay for as long as a week or several weeks or whatever, that would raise a lot of suspicion with people who probably don't want us digging around. So not only does this work out in terms of us not staying here and putting off the inevitable, but it means that we're safer doing so as well, because the people who know what they're doing better than we could, just nosing around, can keep us in the loop. Just a case of finding who and getting them to agree to it. Which shouldn't take more than a day, I'd say.
Right.
But before any of that, we have an appointment at the forge, I believe.
We do. Time.
Yes, y'all can, hit a lot of things with hammers to take your mind off of all this.
Might actually do us some good to give us thinking time as well.
Alright.
Would I be able to get some assistance? I would like to take apart the scimitar. I have the rune crafting tools and expertise in those matters. But
I figured it's
team
probably
effort.
you and Sal taking the front run.
you
It'll
have
be
any
a team
objections
effort.
if I take the lead on that?
I got no issue with it.
Now, just so you know, Angus, since you're very proficient in rune crafting, you've been following the art for a while. Disenchanting a magic item like this, especially at the forge, wouldn't take very long. It's the crafting of the runes and putting it all together, which could possibly take quite a while. I'm talking multiple days, especially for an item like this.
Yeah.
Scimitar of Speed. We're talking like maybe a month of work.
Yeah.
Quick
Which
question.
is one of the things why you wanted to stay longer.
A month of work?
Quick question. I know there was special prerequisites for this sort of thing that we needed to be at the forge for it, but is that just the disenchanting of it, or is it the entire kit and caboodle of applying enchantments to the weapons?
That would be the forge. Disenchanting at the forge means you don't have to roll any checks for it.
Okay.
I believe the. Let's see.
I'm trying to find the
I remember you posting it.
Yeah.
You
Here.
used my name. Fuck.
disenchanting magic items. Provided you're proficient with Rune Carver's tools, you are able to disenchant a magic item in order to learn its enchantment and identify how it was made in order to replicate the item or enchantment at a later time. You can disenchant it by ritually casting Identify over an hour. If the disenchanting process fails, the disenchanting process fails if a creature is attuned to the item, if the item has been replicated by an artificer, or it is a legendary or artifact quality. You must succeed an intelligence check using your Rune Carver's tools. The DC varies depending on the rarity of the item, detailed in a table below. If you succeed, you learn the recipe and the enchantment. If you fail, you learn nothing about the item. In either case, the item turns to ash and is destroyed forever. You can automatically succeed on these checks by disenchanting magic items in a location significant to the art of rune crafting, such as the Duneheart Forge in Dune Hollow. If you roll a 20 on the success, you gain half of the material components listed in its recipe.
Yes.
And then there's some restrictions below about things and certain items that are some common sense stuff. And then there's an enchantment things for disenchanting DC before. So you're trying to do a Scimitar of Speed, which is a very rare, so it would be an Intelligence DC of 22.
So what? Disenchant or enchant?
To
Disenchant.
disenchant.
I
But
mean, it's free at
yeah.
the forge.
Yeah.
But it's auto-succeeded because we're at the special place. Didn't this also just magically relight itself?
It did so during the Greenskin Wars. That was a long time ago.
That's what that was like about 4 months ago.
4 months? No.
I know.
Oh, I thought you meant the greenskin or that we were just in.
No.
Okay,
That was just
The
a
OG one.
that was just
That's just a battle.
I understand.
Yeah. That was just a battle of siege. That wasn't like a full scale war.
I understand. So, over the course of an hour, we'll be able to disenchant it.
But what about the enchanting? Can we
The enchanting.
apply this to something else without needing the forge? Or does it just improve our chance?
I have a question in regards to
You
that
don't-
because we essentially, the trio essentially made what's equivalent of like a legendary item in Grugga's axe, and that took them like 3 or 4 days. Like, what's the difference between that and a month?
There was some outside help.
Like how?
I think in that instance, I would not have been able to make that axe if it were not for the fact that there was a plot item involved. Normally, I could not do that.
That was
By
pretty much it. Yeah.
by even standard crafting rules, I should not have been
Yeah.
able to do that.
That was a point of like character narrative.
Okay.
Quick
Yeah,
interjection. This is getting into mechanical discussion, so do we want to call the session?
Yeah. Okay. So
we should wrap up.
Yeah. So, as you kind of pick up your items, your various things, you gather yourselves, and you make your way towards the Dunehard Forge for an attempt at gleaning any insight into this Scimitar of Speed, but possibly pave the way for crafting something very, very special for Liska. And with that, we will leave it there.
Oh wow, I didn't realize it was 4.
Damn.
Very
yeah.
productive, and we're still in Dune Hollow.
Yeah.
It's my bad, guys. I didn't expect to find a fucking gem of an item.
No, I had my big roleplay moment. Don't worry about it.
I had my moment, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
Heavy topics and also some shit posting.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to stop recording in 3, 2,